time for Spring Hill High School football.
One to the right side. Braden throws the slant for Kroll. In and out. Did he catch it on a bobble? He did. Bryson Kroll hauls it in for a 9-yard touchdown reception.
Spring Hill Sports Live is brought to you by Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning, Price Chopper, Kim Thompson at Prudential Financial, the Spring Hill Recreation Commission, Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center, Cedar Lake Village, Crown Realty, the Elliott Insurance Group, Prime Accounting Solutions, Farmers Insurance, Leah Smith Agency, Tri-Century Bank, Allstate, Libby Clark Agency, the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce, Spring Hill Fitness, Perfect Detail Salon, and Whitesell Optometry.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time for Bronco football.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
And good evening from Steve Grogan Stadium in Ottawa tonight. It's week 2 of the high school football season, and the 1-0 Spring Hill Broncos visit the 1-0 Ottawa Cyclones. Along with Caden Carbajo, I'm Bryce Kessler. We welcome you to the broadcast tonight. We're about 30 minutes away from the opening kickoff of this week 2 matchup. Spring Hill last week, they put not only the rest of the league, but perhaps the rest of the state on notice with a great opening week performance, an upset over the defending Frontier League champion Lewisburg, a 27-24 victory for Spring Hill. Lewisburg had a 30-yard field goal blocked as time expired. It was Spring Hill's first Week 1 victory since 2014 and their first win over Lewisburg since 2016, just their third win over the Wildcats in the last 18 seasons. So a great way to kick off the 2019 football season for the Spring Hill Broncos, and tonight they'll go for that 2-0 start. Last time that happened, 18 years ago, 2001, the last time Spring Hill started a season 2-0. So to make everybody feel old, that means roughly 74 of the 92 guys on this Spring Hill football team weren't even alive the last time that they started 2-0 in a football season. So, and that's assuming all seniors are 18. Some of them might not even be 18 yet, so it might even be higher than that. It's a good time to be a Spring Hill football fan right now. These guys are pumped and ready to go here in week 2. Meanwhile, Ottawa, they also had a great opening week. They were down by 2 at halftime, 14-12 to Baldwin, but then scored 14 unanswered points in the second half to defeat the Bulldogs 26-14. That win for Ottawa ended a 16-game losing streak for the Cyclones, dating back to their week 2 win in 2017. It was the Cyclones' first season opening win since 2013 as well. That was also the last time they started 2-0. So both teams tonight looking to get to that 2-0 mark. Spring Hill on the road for the first time last year in this matchup against Ottawa, a 49-0 Spring Hill victory. The Broncos are hoping for a little bit more of the same this go-round. So that's a look at tonight's matchup, Spring Hill and Ottawa, coming up here in week 2 of the high school football season. This is the Comfort Designs pregame show. As we're just getting started, we'll take a look at some of the other Frontier League matchups and some of the polls, including one that features the Spring Hill Broncos football team. Jason Feeback, we'll talk to him, the head coach of the Broncos. Look at the starting lineups, the keys to the game. All of it's coming up here on the Comfort Designs pregame show. Coming up next, our look at the rest of the Frontier League schedule for tonight. It's week 2 of the high school football season. The Spring Hill Broncos on the road at the Ottawa Cyclones on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453. Elliott Insurance Group is a proud supporter of Spring Hill and USD 230. At Elliott Insurance Group, we work, live, and shop in our local communities, serving Miami and Johnson counties for more than 45 years. Elliott Insurance Group understands your needs. As an independent insurance agency, Elliott Insurance Group works with numerous carriers to find the coverage that best fits your needs. In Spring Hill, call 913-592-5552 or visit elliottInsuranceGroup.com.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to Cool Crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back inside the Comfort Designs pregame show as we get you set for kickoff tonight between the Spring Hill Broncos and the Ottawa Cyclones. The pregame show brought to you by Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning, locally owned and operated for more than 20 years. Comfort Designs is Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. Learn more at comfortdesigns.net or call 913-592-4453. We've got a lot coming up here on the pregame show. We'll chat with the head coach of the Broncos, Jason Feeback, get some thoughts from their Week 1 victory, the big win over Lewisburg, and what he's looking forward to tonight here on the road for the first time in 2019. But before we do that, let's take a look around the rest of the league. Our area matchups are brought to you by Spring Hill Fitness, your local community gym. Spring Hill Fitness is dedicated to making a friendly, judgment-free environment open 24/7. Check them out on Facebook or call 913-686-2027. Baldwin is at Piper tonight to kick off Frontier League action. The Bulldogs 0-1. The Piper Pirates 1-0. Tough start with that loss in Week 1 for Baldwin to start the David Bowen era last week. It won't get any easier tonight for them on the road at Piper, who defeated Eudora in Week 1. Tonganoxie 1-0 at Lewisburg, who's 0-1. That's probably the matchup of the night in the Frontier League after Spring Hill handed Lewisburg their first season-opening loss since 2011 last week. The Wildcats now have to fend off Tonganoxie to avoid starting 0-2 for the first time since who knows when. Tongi hung 49 on Baser Linwood last week behind 232 yards on the ground from Cooper Cunningham. So Lewisburg has their hands full again in their home opener as they again look to avoid 0-2, while Tonganoxie at 1-0 looks to get to 2-0. Eudora 0-1 at Bonner Springs 0-1. Bonner was shut out. Or not shut out, but Bonner shut out Eudora last year 40-0. They haven't started 0-2 since 2010. They'll be looking to avoid that tonight, while Eudora is looking to avoid starting 0-2 for the third straight season. A non-league game for Paola tonight. They're 1-0 after the big win over Bonner in Week 1. They're at Fort Scott, a 1-0 team. Both those teams, in fact, Paola and Fort Scott, picked up blowout wins in Week 1. Paola looking for their third straight 2-0 start. A look at some of the latest Kansas high school football polls in the K-Preps top 5 in 4A. Paola checks in at number 4, while Spring Hill, Piper, and Tonganoxie are all in the receiving consideration side of that 4A top 5 poll put out by K-Preps. Spring Hill's lone non-league opponent this year, DeSoto, they're also in the 5A poll by K-Preps, checking in at number 4 there. Catch it, Kansas Week 2 rankings. They've got the Broncos at number 7 in the 4A poll, so we'll see if they can continue to rise up those ranks after their impressive Week 1 victory. Fellow Frontier League teams, Paola in at number 4, Tonganoxie at number 6, and Lewisburg, who was at number 5 to start the year, they dropped back to number 5 in that, to number 9 in that Catch It Kansas Week 2 rankings poll. DeSoto at number 8 in the 5A poll there from Catch It Kansas. Volleyball polls from the Kansas Volleyball Association. The Spring Hill Lady Broncos, number 6 in Class 5A. Now 8-0 to start the season. That includes victories over 6A number 4 Blue Valley, 6A number 9 Mill Valley, and 4A number 2 Topeka Hayden. So a heck of a start for the girls on the volleyball floor. A perfect 8-0. What are they saying about tonight's game? 8-10 varsity. They've got Spring Hill picked as tonight's winner, and the Topeka Capital Journal also picking Spring Hill tonight to get to 2-0. Neither went into too much depth on this matchup, as most heavily favor your Spring Hill Broncos tonight on the road against the Ottawa Cyclones. You're inside the Comfort Designs pregame show as we get you set for kickoff coming up at the top of the hour. Coming up next, we'll chat with the head ball coach of your Spring Hill Broncos. Jason Feeback joins us next here on the Comfort Designs pregame show.
What if grass wasn't just for mowing? What if all the games weren't on TV? What if you saw the grandkids on more than just holidays? What if you got out of the house more often, maybe for good? Cedar Lake Village Senior Living. Life is how you live, not just where. To learn more, call 888-508-2022.
Prime Accounting Solutions in Spring Hill is here to help you and your business grow. From accounting services to tax planning, Prime Accounting is here to help you meet your goals and achieve your dreams. The accountants at Prime Accounting Solutions stay up to date on the latest news and information, ensuring the best options, services, and returns for you. Give Prime Accounting Solutions a call at 913-592-2050. Visit them at 408 North Webster in Spring Hill or go online to primeaccounting.net. Weitzel Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Weitzel Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Weitzel and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Weitzel Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020.
Welcome back to the Comfort Designs pregame show, and joining us now is the head coach of the Broncos, Jason Feeback. Coach, how's the week gone for you guys coming off that big season-opening win last Friday night?
You know, it was a good week of practice. But 5 minutes after the game, you're trying to get on to the next one. So, not too much time to celebrate after week one.
Well, when you went back and broke down the film from that game, what were some of the things that you liked?
Yeah, I really liked the passion our kids played with. I thought we played some physical football. Both sides of the ball. Like the fact that we took care of the football. We did a lot of good things, but typical week one, you got a lot of stuff to work on. Misalignment defensively, giving up on some third and longs, giving up some yardage there, being out of position to make plays, and just not blocking guys at the next level. Those are just a few things on the list of things to work on.
You had to have liked the red zone execution of really both sides of the football, offense and defense. Offense 4 times in there, 4 scores. Defense just 1 touchdown allowed on 4 trips for Lewisburg into the red zone. What'd you make of the team's performance on both sides of the ball down there inside the 20s?
It's gut check time when you get down there. I loved it, and it said a lot about our character, a lot about our grit. And wanting to go compete, and how bad our kids wanted to win last Friday, and just the ability to go finish and to end drives on defense.
You'd mentioned before the game, first week, and really every week, I'm sure it goes without saying, take care of the football, limit the penalties, those kinds of things. But being a first game out, no turnovers, very few penalties. How important is it to continue to play that kind of football?
I think moving forward, if you can create big plays and you can eliminate big plays, that's huge in a football game. Most teams that turn the ball over less than they take it away, those teams are going to win. So I think ball security is always something to work on. We do turnover circuit every single week. It's a point of emphasis. We want to make sure we're carrying the football right. We want to make sure we're finishing routes so our guys are getting open. Always having knowledge and an awareness of where the ball is and how we can take care of it and we can get it back. And just communicating. We had a lot of, we just had third down. That was our period. We had a third down period in practice, Tuesday and Wednesday, where we're just going competing. We're keeping an offensive score and a defensive score, and we want to win third down. And it was different scenarios, different distances every time, but just going out and, hey, look, who's going to win on third down? And so, moving forward, being able to get off the field defensively, being able to maintain drives offensively as we go on with this Frontier League schedule, that's a big deal on being able to do what we want to do as the season goes on.
Well, next up on that schedule is a visit to Ottawa, and it's been a tough couple of seasons for Ottawa, but they did pick up a win in their Week 1 victory over Baldwin. So what do you make of the Cyclones this year?
We got to watch their film. Their quarterback is a very good runner. They were able to do some things offensively. Had a couple big plays to their tight end and a receiver, so that they were able to push the ball down a little bit down the field. Defensively, they line up in a 4-2-5, and they want to run a lot of man from what we've seen. Try to blitz a little bit, but they think their front four is going to do a pretty good job of maintaining gaps, and linebackers are going to fill. We need to make sure we're obviously working together with our linemen and getting off the ball and handling that. Going on our first road game of the season, that's always a challenge. We're going to be playing on grass. We're usually on turf, and so making sure we can handle a wet football, making sure we don't have the excuse of I slipped or whatever, and just going out and playing the kind of football we want to play, and setting the tone early on we want to play physical and we want to play fast.
A 49-0 win over Ottawa last year, Coach, and now you're coming off of a big emotional victory, dramatic right down to the finish against Lewisburg last week. Is there a challenge at all to make sure there isn't an emotional letdown entering this game?
Oh, there's always a challenge. I think especially dealing with teenagers and the emotions that come with that. We've had a good week of practice, and started Monday at 6 a.m, and we had another practice Wednesday at 5:30 due to parent-teacher conferences, and our kids showed up and we got after it. So polish practice on Thursday and then go out and play on Friday. So I think our guys are really excited about this week's game and going out and playing and seeing what we can do and just continuing to move through this season and getting better every week. The best improvements of the season happen from week 1 to week 2. And so our theme for the week was DMGB. Doesn't matter, get better. It doesn't matter if you beat a really good Lewisburg team. It doesn't matter if you're 1-0. It doesn't matter if you started. It doesn't matter if you didn't play at all. You need to get better. And so having that competitor's mindset of this is how we have to go about our business. It doesn't matter. Whatever happened, it's in the past. 5 minutes later, it doesn't matter. You just need to get better. And so we had that talk in our player development, and our kids, we came out and had a good week. So I'm excited about it.
All right, Coach. Well, we're looking forward to it as well. Thanks again for joining us, and best of luck Friday night. Go Broncos.
Thank you.
That's the head coach of the Spring Hill Broncos, Jason Feeback, and coming up next on the Comfort Designs pregame show, tonight's starting lineups and keys to the game on your home for the Broncos, Spring Hill Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Your local Farmers Insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Open, flexible, and dedicated to our clients with impeccable customer support. That's why you choose Tri-Century Bank. Have your bank right in your hands with mobile banking and manage your money from the comfort of your home with convenient online banking. Tri-Century is ideal for your business with competitive rates on loans and credit cards to help meet your goals. For 125 years, Tri-Century Bank has been serving Spring Hill. To learn more, join them for one of their monthly coffees. See upcoming events at tricentury.bank.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back to the Comfort Designs pregame show. We're getting close to kickoff here tonight in Ottawa, where the visiting Spring Hill Broncos look to get to 2-0 for the first time since 2001. The Ottawa Cyclones also looking for a 2-0 start after they snapped a 16-game losing streak with a win in Week 1. They've lost 7 straight here at home at Steve Grogan Stadium. Their last home victory also was Week 2 of the 2017 season when they defeated Wamego. How will the Broncos do it? Let's look at tonight's Keys to the Game, brought to you by Crown Realty. Let Crown Realty help you get the keys to your dream home. Check out all of their listings at crownrealty.com. And if you're in the market to sell your home, remember, the key is a great agent. That's what you'll find at Crown Realty in Spring Hill. Call 913-592-2222. We'll piggyback off a few of the things that Coach Feback just talked about. One of those, avoiding that emotional letdown. They had that big win over Lewisburg, and his quote, his motto for the team this week, DMGB, doesn't matter, get better. And we'll see if that's in fact what the Spring Hill Broncos do. But that was an emotional, high-drama victory over a team that they've now defeated just 3 times in the last 18 years at Lewisburg. Now you got to go on the road. Inevitably, the crowd's going to be a little bit smaller for your side, and the emotions are certainly not going to be as high at kickoff of this one as they were at the end of that last game. So avoiding that emotional letdown, coming out, getting off to a good start. We'll use that as our key number 1 of this game. Another key for the Broncos, win third downs. In that Week 1 victory over Lewisburg, the offense didn't convert a single third down. They were 0 for 5. Now, the good news there is they only had 5 third downs. They didn't face many of them, but they didn't convert any either. 0 for 5 at the offense, while the defense gave up 9 third down conversions and some huge plays on some third downs as well. And not only the 9 third down conversions, they gave up 2 fourth down conversions as well. So winning third downs. Now, last year in this matchup with Ottawa, Spring Hill dominated third downs as they held the Cyclones to 0 for 11 on third down of that ball game. The offense, quite frankly, didn't need many third downs. They converted 23 first downs of the game with 7 rushing touchdowns in that 49-0 victory last year over Ottawa. So winning third down, we'll make that our second key. And finally, contain the rushing of Ottawa quarterback Caleb Kessinger. Now, he could run or throw the ball as well. He threw for 168 yards and a couple of touchdowns last week. But really, they want to establish him as a runner from the quarterback position. Carried 12 times for 42 yards and a touchdown in the win last week. And that is key number 1 for this defense, is containing the rushing ability of Ottawa quarterback Caleb Kessinger. Everything runs through him for this Cyclone squad. Those are your keys to the game tonight. Now a quick look at our starting lineups as well. We might get interrupted by the band's performance of the national anthem. If we do, I'll finish the starting lineups on the other side of that. But the starting lineups are brought to you by Perfect Details Salon at 516 North Webster in Spring Hill. Broncos will start this game in style, but nowhere near the level of style you'll find at Perfect Details Salon, where they're devoted to making clients flawless from head to toe. Make an appointment online at salonperfectdetails.com or by calling 913-592-5022. For the Spring Hill offense, Corbin Myers, the quarterback, will lead this group out there after throwing for 171 yards and a touchdown in the Week 1 victory. His running back is Zayd Barker, who carried 16 times for 76 yards and 2 scores. Zach Knowlton, Daniel Mitchell, Evan Letillier, and Gage Klutz will be the receivers he'll look to get the football to. And up front, a dominant performance by the offensive line in Week 1. Aaron Dominic at left tackle, Wyatt George at left guard, Denver Gardner at center, J.B. Watkins, the right guard, and Tanner Thompson is the right tackle. Defensively, up front, Carson Downs, Logan Greenhall in the middle, and Aaron Dominic on the outside. Those three also had a very good Week 1 performance. The middle linebackers combined for 23 tackles in Game 1. Jacob Stovall and Wyatt Dickey. Stovall had 18 of them. The outside backers, Chase Wilm and Jackson Roundzon. The corners are Cody Powell and Dom Shearer. Brady Larson and Hunter Williard are the safeties starting for the Spring Hill Broncos. I'll run down those Ottawa starters for you as well when we come back on the opposite side of the break, as it's almost time for the national anthem here from the Ottawa Cyclone Marching Band. So we're going to step aside for that, and when we come back, we'll finish out those starting lineups for you, and we'll be set for the opening kickoff. The Spring Hill Broncos and the Ottawa Cyclones, week 2 of the high school football season, about to kick off. Back in a moment here on the Comfort Designs pregame show.
Right to your seat during the second.
When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill. Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to Cool Crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
Your home for Bronco Athletics is Spring Hill Sports Live. Our coverage of Bronco volleyball kicks off this Thursday as Spring Hill plays host to a volleyball triangular with the Blue Valley Southwest Timberwolves and the Bonner Springs Braves. It's Spring Hill Bronco volleyball this Thursday, right here on your home for Spring Hill High School Athletics, Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back inside the Comfort Designs pregame show. About set for kickoff. Let's finish up those starting lineups for you. Brought to you by Perfect Details Salon. Taking a look at the Ottawa Cyclones. Defensively for the Cyclones, Nicholas Reimer, Adam Duran, Calvin Wilson, and Evan Welton. The defensive line up front, Talon Morris, Peyton Lee are the linebackers in their 4-2-5 with Colin Creech, Jose Richards, Lane Hughes, Caleb Kessinger, and Adrian Aho in the secondary for head coach Rob Hendrick. Offensively for the Cyclones, their quarterback is Caleb Kessinger. He threw for 168 yards and 2 scores in week 1, completing 9 of 14 passes. Also ran 12 times for 42 yards more and another touchdown. His tailback is Aaron Clevenger, 11 carries, 35 yards and a touchdown. The wingbacks, Adrian Aho and Colin Creech. His main wide receiver is Jose Richards, who got a 74-yard score in week 1. Peyton Lee is the tight end, and up front, left to right, it's Calvin Wilson Jr., Trey Bones, Michael Johnson, their lone returning starter on the offensive line. He's the center, Addison Hedges, and Adam Duran on the right side. Those are your starting lineups brought to you by Perfect Details Salon, and we are almost set for kickoff here tonight between Ottawa and Spring Hill. Week 2 of the high school football season. Both teams picking up week 1 victories. For Spring Hill, it was a victory over Lewisburg, and for Ottawa, it was a victory over Baldwin. This is the 21st meeting since 1993 between these two teams. Spring Hill leads that series 11-9. They've won the last 3 matchups over Ottawa after the Cyclones had won 4 straight from 2012 to 2015. Last season's 49-0 victory, that was the largest win in that series history since 93 between these two teams for Spring Hill, and in fact for either team, that was the largest victory. You've been watching the Comfort Designs pregame show, and we are now ready for kickoff, and the opening kickoff is brought to you by the Spring Hill Recreation Commission. With fall sports in full swing, the Spring Hill Rec Commission has turned their sights to basketball season. Registration open now until November 15th for youth basketball in Spring Hill. Register online at springhillrec.org or by calling 913-592-2214. Captains on their way out to midfield here for the opening toss in this game, the coin toss to get this thing decided. As we've been talking about these matchups, went through some of those keys to the game. One thing I didn't mention in the keys to the game, but was a big part, two things in fact, big part of why Spring Hill won their week one matchup against Lewisburg, the red zone efficiency and the special teams. Red zone wise for the Broncos, the offense 4 for 4 scoring in the red zone. 4 trips in, 2 field goals, 2 touchdowns, while the defense allowed 4 trips into the red zone. Only 1 touchdown was given up. They also gave up a field goal, and twice they kept Lewisburg scoreless after entering the red zone. So that kind of red zone efficiency will be a big key, not only tonight, but every game for that matter, for the Spring Hill offense and defense, as the Broncos won the toss tonight, and they have deferred their decision to the second half, so it'll be Ottawa who's going to receive the football to start this ball game out. The other thing for the Broncos was their special teams, and they were a special teams. Bear Gardner accounted for 9 points with 2 field goals and a perfect 3 for 3 on extra points in that game, their senior kicker. Dom Shearer blocked the game-tying field goal attempt by Lewisburg as time expired to preserve that victory. And the punt team, they had a great day as well. Didn't have to do it much, but when they did, they got some great punts from Logan Greenhall, who had a 70-yarder in that game. And that was all the way down to the 2-yard line. It was down by a Hunter Williard. So special teams played some special football. The red zone efficiency was great. They really limited the penalties in that week one game. Only 4 penalties total. Now, 3 of those 4 were 15-yard penalties. So the yardage, 50 yards in penalties, that makes it seem a little worse. But only 4 mishaps in that one. Week one victory for Spring Hill over Lewisburg. So they did a lot of things well, especially when you're talking about a first game out. It can be kind of sloppy sometimes, but they had no turnovers. They had only 4 penalties in that game, but they picked up a big 27-24 victory over Lewisburg. And now tonight, looking to go 2-0 for the first time since 2001. That was the last 2-0 start for the Spring Hill Broncos. Ottawa, they last started 2-0 in 2013, and they're trying to get their home crowd pumped up as we are set for kickoff here tonight. Bear Gardner will get this game started with his right leg. Again, had great week one from Bear. He went 3 for 3 on his extra points, made 2 of 3 field goal attempts, hit 2 26-yarders, and then missed from 46 yards late in the first half of that ball game. So Gardner is set to kick it off, and we are underway week 2 of the high school football season as it's a high end-over-end kick fielded by Aho back at the goal line, and he's got not much blocking help, but tackle made at about the 16-yard line by Hunter Williard. So good job of the coverage team there for Spring Hill as they will put Ottawa inside their own 20 to start. They'll mark it at the 17-yard line. First down and 10 for Ottawa. Wilson Jr., Trey Bones, Michael Johnson, Addison Hedges, and Adam DeRay on the starting offensive line for Coach Rob Hedrick in his Ottawa Cyclones. Hedrick in his 7th season as the head coach of the Cyclones, 26-32 overall record. Start in the pistol, Caleb Kessinger, their 5'9" senior quarterback. Got a couple of wing backs, and Clevenger is the tailback behind him. Clevenger gets the carry, met as soon as he took that handoff by the defensive end on the near side for Spring Hill, as they've had 2 good games from those defensive ends. That was Carson Downs that time. The other guy on the defensive end is Aaron Dominic, 71. You'll see there in white. And Logan Greenhall, their defensive tackle, had 6 tackles, including a team-high 3 for loss in that week 1 victory. Those guys did a great job against that pretty good Lewisburg front. So after the 3-yard run by Clevenger, it is 2nd down and 7 for Ottawa. This time they send the wingbacks out into the slot on the left side. Fakes the handoff to Clevenger, and Kessinger keeps it with a lot of room on the near sideline. Cody Powell can't make the tackle at the 45, and Kessinger's all the way across midfield as he picks up 33 yards on that 2nd down run from Caleb Kessinger. He ran for 42 in the week 1 victory, and that was one of the keys that Jason Feeback talked about, is limiting the rushing ability of Caleb Kessinger, turn him into a thrower. And right there, they allowed him on that read option to pick up 33 after the nice read, the pull, and he scampered down the near side. So it's 1st and 10 into plus territory opening possession for Ottawa, as you see just a minute in to this opening quarter. Kessinger works from the shotgun with the big tailback Clevenger to his right. Again, pulls it, wants to throw on the little read pass option, and then it's dropped by his wide receiver, who was split out far to the right side. That is Richards, or excuse me, that was Peyton Lee, the tight end that they had split out wide to the right side. So the incomplete pass brings up 2nd down and 10 for Ottawa. 10:56 left, opening quarter. Opening drive for the Cyclones, who overcame a 2-point halftime deficit last week against Baldwin. Scored 14 unanswered in the second half to pick up a 26-14 Week 1 victory. Their first opening week victory since 2013. From the pistol, they got the wingbacks Creech and Aho back in there, and it goes to Cale Lane off the wingback for the right side, and Lane takes it to the 44-yard line. So short gain, a 3-yard run, and it is now 3rd down and 7. So here's our first 3rd down of the game for this defense of Spring Hill that last week allowed 9 of 16 conversions on 3rd downs to Lewisburg. Now, they still won that ball game, but they gave up some big 3rd down plays. They did a lot of 3rd down work this week in practice. Their first chance to see if it'll pay off. 3rd down and 7 from the Spring Hill 44 for Ottawa. Kessinger out of the shotgun. Wants the quick slant. It's behind his receiver, but caught for a 1st down. The ball popped out as he went down to the ground with it. He was reaching it out to make sure he got the 1st down yardage. The tackle was made by Brady Larson, but it's a 1st down for the Ottawa Cyclones. So 3rd down, the first one of the game, and it goes the way of Ottawa. 1st and 10, just shy of the 35 at the 36-yard line. And 11 yards on that 3rd down completion to Aho. They don't have the play clocks working here in the end zones. There are play clocks set up to be used, but they're not working tonight. So take a long time in the huddle. The play clock down under 10 seconds according to the back judge now. And Kessinger does get the snap off, gives it up to Clevenger, who's met immediately by Jackson Roundzon, outside linebacker for Spring Hill, who stops it for no gain. Clock down to 9:20 as we near a 3-minute opening drive here for Ottawa. Big run from Caleb Kessinger on the second play from scrimmage for Ottawa, a 33-yard scamper. That got him into plus territory, and then a 3rd down conversion a moment ago. Now a 2nd down and 10 at the 36. Kessinger takes the snap and gives it again to Clevenger, who's hit by Stovall. The middle linebacker got away from him. Still maybe only a yard gain on the play. The tackle eventually made by Brady Larson, and also in to help make that tackle was Shear, but that was a could have been a loss almost for Clevenger. Stovall, who had 18 tackles in week 1, and I'm going to have to figure out who the Broncos have in 31 tonight. They don't typically have a 31. Where's he lined up? Outside linebacker? That must be Chase Wilm over there in 31. Typically he's 33, but you don't list a 31 on the roster for the Broncos. And that's Wilm putting the pressure on as the throw is over the head of Colin Creech. Cody Powell in coverage, and it'll bring up a 4th down on that 3rd down and 9 incompletion. Pressured by Wilm for the Spring Hill defense. So they get a stop on 3rd down there, and now let's see, are they going to attempt what would be a very long field goal, or are they going to bring the punt team on? They're going to attempt what's going to be a long, no, they're going to keep the offense out. Looked like they made, okay, never mind. It is the punt team. Kessinger, the quarterback, also the punter. We saw that last week with Lewisburg. So from the 35 of Spring Hill on 4th and 9, Ottawa will punt to try to pin Spring Hill deep. It bounces at the 5-yard line and rolls into the end zone. So best case scenario really there for Spring Hill as they get the touchback, and will take it over at the 20-yard line. Only a 15-yard net on that punt after the line of scrimmage was the 35, and with the touchback, it gives it to Spring Hill now at the 20. So this offense for the Broncos will take the field for the first time after putting up 27 points against Lewisburg in week 1. They ran for 136 yards, threw for 178. Only had one offensive penalty in the game, no turnovers, so it was quite the successful start for the offense for Spring Hill. Dominic, George, Gardner, Watkins, and Thompson across the line, left to right. Myers, the quarterback. Zaid Barker stands to his left, the tailback, with Knowlton, Mitchell, and Letillier, the receivers, and Gage Klutz is the tight end. It's Barker on first down, and he picks up a healthy 5 yards for a gang tackle made by the Ottawa defense. So Zaid Barker, expect to see a lot of him tonight. Number 23 in white. He carried 16 times for 76 yards last week and scored 2 touchdowns. Last year against Ottawa, they gave it to Barker 33 times. He piled up 205 rushing yards with 4 touchdowns. So he is likely to get another heavy workload tonight. He picked up 5 on first down, 2nd and 5 at the 25-yard line, and Barker will get it again. Untouched before he gets 5, make it 7 and a first down. And if Barker can go through the hole untouched and not have first contact until 7 or so yards down the field, it's going to be a long day for the Ottawa defense, and a good start for Barker. 2 carries, 12 yards, a first down for Spring Hill. Something they did very well last week. First down and second down, as they faced only 5 third downs for the entire ball game. Now, they didn't convert any of those 5. But if they can only face 5 third downs a night, they're going to be doing all right offensively. Barker, a 3rd carry. A little bit of trouble on that handoff from Corbin Myers. Kind of cost him a couple of steps, had to stutter a little bit on the give. He still picks up 3 to the 35-yard line. So a 2nd down and 7 coming up after Peyton Lee, one of the starting linebackers, makes the tackle. Lee along with Challen Morris, 2 starting linebackers. In this 4-2-5 look for Ottawa. Reimer, Wilson Jr., Welton, and Duran up front. Creech, Aho, Hughes, Kessinger in the secondary. 2nd down and 7. Corbin Myers out of the pistol, turns and gives this time to Barker off the left side. Barker upended at about the 38-yard line. 3-yard run. Tackle made by, again, Peyton Lee. Aaron Clevenger also in there to help out on the stop. So 3-yard run. And brings them a 3rd down and 4. Midway through the opening quarter, this is the opening drive for Spring Hill after Ottawa moved it into plus territory, got it down to the 35-yard line. Big play was a 33-yard run by Caleb Kessinger, their quarterback, but they stalled out and had to punt. A touchback netted them only 15 yards on the punt, and now Spring Hill on their first drive faces their first 3rd down. A 3rd and 4. Myers rolling to his right, tucks it under his right arm, runs for the first down and has it as he crosses over the 40 out to the 44-yard line in a first down run of 6 yards on a 3rd and 4 for Corbin Myers. Chase Hempel, the defensive tackle, down the field to make the tackle on the quarterback Myers. So that's their first 3rd down conversion of the year after an 0 for 5 against Lewisburg. And that's a big one to keep this opening drive going. Spring Hill wants to act quick in this game. 2 first downs on this opening drive. And Myers, out of the pistol, takes the snap and gives once again to Zaid Barker. Works patient off the left tackle. And a flag comes in near the end of this play as Hempel makes the stop on Barker at the 49-yard line. It's a 5-yard run as it stands. We'll check the penalty flag. And it's a face mask added on against the Cyclones. So that will end up moving the chains for the Spring Hill Broncos as it's a personal foul, 15-yard face mask. And that pushes the ball all the way down to the 36 of Ottawa. Ends up a 20-yard play after the 5-yard run and a 15-yard penalty. So far, Barker has carried 5 times for 23 yards on this opening drive. They gave it to him, as I mentioned, 33 times last year in the win over Ottawa. And at this rate, he's going to hit that number and more. 1st and 10 from the 36 of Ottawa. Option to the left. Myers will keep it. Broke through an arm tackle of Clevenger down to the 31 or 2-yard line. And Lane and Lee combined to make the tackle for Ottawa. They'll mark 32. It's a 4-yard run for Myers. 2nd down and 6 coming up. Nice methodical opening drive here for Spring Hill. They can hit you with the big play. They had a couple of gashing plays last week. A 31-yard run by Barker, a 49-yard pass to Knowlton, a 34-yard pass to Klutz. So they did hit some big plays, but they were also able to consistently just move the football down the field like they're doing here. 2nd down and 6 at the Ottawa 32. Myers wants to throw, has a great clean pocket to throw from, and he's got Klutz wide open for a touchdown, Spring Hill. 32-yard touchdown, and that ball was dropped perfectly into the arms of Klutz by Corbin Myers. 2nd time this year those two have hooked up for a touchdown. They found each other for a 34-yard score last week, and this one a 32-yard touchdown. 2nd of the year passing for Myers, and both of them have gone to Klutz. 4:04 left in this opening quarter after the touchdown pass, and now Bear Gardner on for the extra point. He was 3 for 3 on extra point tries in week 1. A little bit of low snap. They've got to abort the extra point, and Myers throws it to Logan Greenhall, and they convert for 2. Well, they didn't necessarily want a 2-point conversion, but a low snap forced Corbin Myers to do something with nothing, and he made it everything. It's a 2-point conversion on the pass from Myers to Greenhall, and it's 8-0. Spring Hill leads Ottawa with 4:04 left in the opening quarter on Spring Hill Sports Live. Your local Farmers Insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum. This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Gardner will kick off for the Broncos.
8-0 lead for the Spring Hill Broncos on a 32-yard touchdown pass from Corbin Myers to Gage Klutz to cap off their opening drive. A 2-point conversion after the bad snap. Myers, though, found Greenhall for the 2 points. And it's 8-0 Broncos from the 10-yard line. Jose Richards on the return, and Richards for Ottawa gets it back to the 25-yard line. Stop made by Jackson Roundzon for Spring Hill. So the Bronco defense back out there. And they gave up one big play on the opening drive. A couple of first downs, but eventually they held strong down at the 35-yard line to force a punt out of Ottawa. So second possession for the Cyclones. Kessinger threw for 11, ran for 33 in the opening possession. He'll start in the pistol with Clevenger, his 6'2 sophomore tailback, right to his right side. And that's who gets it, Clevenger, following behind the wingback Creech. And Clevenger out to the 29-yard line, a 4-yard run. Brady Larson, Jackson Roundzon, a couple of the Broncos in there to make that tackle. So 4 carries now for Clevenger, but they've held him to just 8 yards early on. A 2nd down and 6 coming up for Ottawa. 3.5 minutes to go, opening quarter. Motions the wingback Aho. They'll run now behind him with Clevenger. But he was grabbed by Dickey as soon as he took that handoff at the line of scrimmage. He's able to move it just across the 30. We'll give him 2. And it brings up a 3rd down and 4 yards to go. It's a long 4 needed for Ottawa. Those 2 middle linebackers, Wyatt Dickey on the tackle there, along with Jacob Stovall. They were dominant in that Week 1 win against Lewisburg. Stovall had 18 tackles. Dickey had 15 tackles. That was 1 and 2 on the team. So here's 3rd down and 4. Ball just across the 30 for Ottawa on their second possession of the ball game, trailing 8-0. Good snap. Back to Kessinger, who fires a quick pass out to Lee on the right side, and a flag comes in. Lee's got a 1st down. Oh, I checked that. That is 10, not 30 on the catch for Ottawa. So that's Seth Cubison who made that catch. And now we'll check on the penalty flag. It's a 5-yard completion, which is good enough for the 1st down if it stands. And it is a face mask against Spring Hill.
Face mask penalty against the Broncos.
So the 5-yard completion gets them a first down, and they add another 5 yards across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Almost really the 41-yard line. So 1st and 10 for Spring Hill as they convert the 3rd down. Kessinger out of the shotgun. Different tailback in there beside him, and that's who gets the fake, and then the pass complete to Creech. As they brought Cale Lane in that time at tailback, replacing
25 Cody Powell in the stop for the Broncos.
The starter, Clevenger, and Cody Powell makes the tackle after the completion there. So Lane that takes it to the 48-yard line, a 6-yard completion. Now they're going to call it 7 to the 48, so
7-yard gain on the play.
After the 7-yard completion, it's 2nd down and 3. Or Creech, rather, on the receiving end of that completion. Under 2 minutes to play opening quarter. 8-0 Spring Hill on top of Ottawa. On the 2nd and 3, Kessinger again wants to throw. Quick out is caught by Aho. Larson had him around the back of the helmet, and a flag comes in because of that. So Aho's got a first down catch. He was taken out at the 47 or 8-yard line of Spring Hill. The completion was enough for a first down as it was, and you're going to get another penalty against Spring Hill on that Larson tackle, or tackle attempt anyway. Didn't really complete the tackle on it, but had a hold of the back inside of the helmet, it looked like, of Aho. It was a 5-yard completion, and now it's a 5-yard face mask added onto it. Moves it down to the 42-yard line of Ottawa, or excuse me, of Spring Hill for Ottawa. So both possessions now for Ottawa. They've moved it into plus territory. It stalled out at the 35 last time. They're 7 yards away from that spot as they get a new set of downs, 1st and 10. Some confusion in the alignment here. Jose Richards, the receiver, who was on the left side to start. They get him over to the right side then and run it right up the middle with Cale Lane, or excuse me, Talon Morris, who's listed at 21. That's 23 on his back today, but we'll change that. So Talon Morris on the carry, no gain. Second down and 10, under a minute left in the first quarter. Just the 3rd overall possession of this game. Second for for Ottawa. Spring Hill had just 1 possession so far in the quarter, and that resulted in 8 points. Ottawa spreads it out this time. 4 receivers, 2 both ways, and they give it to Morris in the backfield, but nowhere to go for Talon Morris. A tackle for loss by Jackson Roundzon. And that pushes him back to the 44, 43-yard line with 26 seconds to go in the quarter. And a 3rd down and long coming up. It's 3rd and 11, and they won't have to run a snap or run another play with the game clock underneath 10 seconds now, so we'll take a timeout as that's the end of the first quarter. 8-0 Spring Hill leads Ottawa through 1 on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Weitzel Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Weitzel Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Weitzel and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Weitzel Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020. When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Start of the second quarter in Ottawa. 8-0. Spring Hill leads the Ottawa Cyclones. Second possession of the game for Ottawa. They punted on their first drive. Got down to the Spring Hill 35 before they were forced to punt. Spring Hill had just one first quarter possession, and they went down the field and scored a touchdown, a 32-yard pass from Myers to Klutz for the game's lone points so far. They added a 2-point conversion on a botched snap of the extra point. 3rd down and 11 to start the second quarter. Kissinger on a pump fake, then just gets rid of it, but that's got to be close to intentional grounding, if not even close, really. That's definite intentional grounding, and there came the flag, and that is the call. So not necessarily a huge deal, as it was going to be 4th and 11 from the 43-yard line. Now it's going to be 4th and about 21 or so from back just shy of midfield. So they'll lose about 10 yards, it looks like, in field position for the punt team. May become a factor. Either way, it was probably going to be a returnable chance for the special teams unit of Spring Hill. And, in fact, they're just going to, they said, decline the penalty. I'm not really sure why you would. And they marked the ball back at the 49-yard line, though. So regardless, it's a 4th and long now for Ottawa. Kissinger to punt it away. Good snap back to him, and it's a wobbly kick over towards the right hash mark. That may have hit one of the Broncos. The ball is loose down inside the 10-yard line. And Shearer was calling for a fair catch, and it did not hit one of the Broncos. That looked close, like it might have ricocheted off one of the Broncos' legs. Had that been the case, that would have been a live football and a chance to return it, or not return it, but recover it on a muff. But it did not touch Spring Hill, thank goodness. So the Bronco offense will have a long way to go this time. They'll be starting from, it looks like, the 7-yard line. And they scored a touchdown on their first possession, though, so let's see if they can go the distance here, needing 93 yards to find pay dirt on this drive. Corbin Myers hooked up with Gage Klutz for the touchdown on their first possession. Now from their own 7, 1st down and 10. They bunch the receivers, 2 on each side, but tight to the line. And Barker bounces it outside right, now cutting it back up at the 15-yard line. He's drug across the 15 on a nice first down run of 8 yards for Zaid Barker. Adrian Aho makes the tackle for Ottawa. Just underway, second quarter here. Spring Hill leading Ottawa 8-0. They gave Barker 9 on that first down carry, so he's up to 32 yards on 6 touches so far. Ran for 205 yards and 4 touchdowns last year against Ottawa, a game that Spring Hill won 49-0. He racked up 23 first downs and 7 rushing touchdowns in that one. This time they fake to Barker, and Myers has a wide open man out in the left flat for a first down and more, and that is Zach Knowlton, who is wearing 11 and not 13 tonight. There was a penalty flag, and it's an illegal man downfield against Spring Hill, so that will negate that completion. And it'll force the Broncos back into a 2nd and long now with 10:56 left, second quarter. So Knowlton, who had 3 grabs for 89 yards in the Week 1 victory over Lewisburg, has a nice chunk negated on his first touch of this one. Brings it back to the 11-yard line, so instead of 2nd and 1, they'll face 2nd down and 6 now. 3rd penalty already against Spring Hill. First against the offense, though. They only had 1 offensive penalty in Week 1. Swing out to Barker from the tailback spot, and Barker gets a nice block downfield for a first down. A flag, though, comes in on that as Barker is eventually pushed out of bounds across the 40. But a penalty flag was thrown back where Knowlton was making that block. So we'll wait, but it would appear this one's going to come back as well. A 35-yard pitch and catch to Barker. But with Landry on the field back at the point of the attack on that, when he turned it upfield where the block was made by Knowlton, that's where the flag was thrown by the far line judge. And it's a hold against Spring Hill. So they've matched their penalty total from week 1 already. And we still have 10:37 to go, second quarter. 8-0 Spring Hill. This just the second possession of the game for the Broncos. They went 80 yards for a touchdown on their first possession, capped off by a 32-yard pass to Gage Klutz. So they'll try a third time to convert this second down. They actually gained a yard with that penalty. It was a spot foul, so they end up gaining a yard from where they were. It was 2nd and 5. Now it's 2nd down and 4. Barker, conventional handoff to him this time, steps through a tackle in the backfield, and Barker to the sideline near the 30. He's drugged down by Morris. But Barker able to move the chain, so it took him 3 tries to convert that second down. The first 2 penalties stopped him from doing it, but eventually they moved the chains out to the 29-yard line on an 18-yard run by Zayd Barker. We're going to get Morris on the defensive side of the spotting board changed to 23 instead of his usual 21. First down and 10, Spring Hill on their own 29-yard line. This possession started back at the 7. They've overcome a couple of penalties as Myers got it out to the left slot man, and that is out to the 41. Daniel Mitchell makes the catch. Mitchell did not have a catch, the sophomore wideout in week 1, but he's able to haul in that pass for 12 yards, and they pick up a first down. 9:45 left in the half. 8-0 Spring Hill. Second drive for the Broncos so far. Jason Feeback, the head coach of the Broncos. 14-23 overall record. His offensive coordinator, Nick Madeline, calling the offense for Spring Hill. He's dialed up a touchdown drive already, looking to make it 2 for 2. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Myers gives it to Barker. A little counter action back to the near side and out of bounds just shy of midfield. He's run out by Richards. Actually going to mark it right at midfield. That's an 8-yard run by Barker, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 2. Now, not a lot of big runs yet for Barker. They've kept him contained somewhat, this Ottawa defense. The 18-yard run he had a moment ago, that's the only run. It's been more than 10 yards for Barker, but he's got a healthy 7.3 yard per carry average so far, 58 yards on 8 carries. He stands behind the quarterback Myers, who's in the pistol. 2 receivers go both ways. Low snap into Myers, catches it at the knees, and wants a deep pass down the seam, and it's picked off by Aho. Adrian Aho back the other way, and he's tripped up at midfield by Aaron Dominic. The left tackle makes the stop. But Aho comes up with a big defensive play as Myers threw it into double coverage, and the safety was there to make him pay. First interception thrown of the year by Myers. First turnover of the year as well for Spring Hill. 9:04 left in the second quarter, and Ottawa will have great starting field position from the Spring Hill 49-yard line. Couple of drives, both resulting in punts so far for Ottawa. Kessinger, the quarterback, they wanted to contain his rushing ability, broke off a big 33-yarder. But other than that, they have held this offense to just 13 rushing yards. And there's not a lot there for Clevenger. Runs into Jackson Roundzon. Jacob Stovall, Brady Larson, and Carson Downs all there to help out Roundzon make the stop. A 1-yard run for Clevenger. 2nd and 9 from the 48 of Spring Hill. 8:45 and counting left, first half. Spring Hill looking to start 2-0 for the first time since 2001 after the big win last week over Lewisburg. Ottawa snapped a 16-game losing streak week 1 with a win over Baldwin. So both teams riding high into week 2 and a close one to start this game. Option pitch is behind Clevenger. Ball's on the grass back near the 40 of Ottawa. Clevenger's able to get back on top of it, but a big loss on the play. They'll lose about 11 yards. They're going to mark it at the 42, so it's a 10-yard loss on the pitch from the quarterback, Kessinger, that was behind Clevenger, and he could not bring it in cleanly. Luckily for the Cyclones, he did recover that football, but now they face a 3rd and 11. Or excuse me, a 3rd down and 19. 3rd and 19 here for Ottawa. 7:40, and the snap is dropped by Kessinger. Then he is high-low at the 38-yard line. The ball is loose, and it's scooped up by Spring Hill. So both teams turn it over in consecutive possessions. And that possession just derailed on their own doing for Ottawa after they fumbled on the option. Then the low snap caused all kinds of chaos in the backfield. Kessinger lost the football, and Spring Hill will take over at the Ottawa 26-yard line after the turnover forced. The 2nd turnover forced this year. They also had a fumble recovery against Lewisburg. That led to a field goal. This time they take over at the Ottawa 26. Looking to capitalize for a touchdown. 7:31 left in the opening half. A high snap, but he gets it underneath on the handoff to Barker, who spins his way through defenders, and a hard run by Barker all the way down to the 1-yard line. A 25-yard run by Zaid Barker, and he earned every yard of it as he was being grabbed and pulled and pushed from about the 20-yard line in. Takes it all the way to the 1. Will they go right back to him and reward him for that effort? My guess is they will, as they have leaned heavily already on Barker. 9 carries, 83 yards. He needs 1 more for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. Barker stands behind Myers from the 1-yard line. 1st down and goal, Spring Hill. Good snap this time to Myers, and it is Barker who's in untouched for a touchdown. Spring Hill, for the 2nd time, finds the end zone, this time on the ground. Zaid Barker's 3rd rushing touchdown of the year, and it is 14-0 Spring Hill with an extra point pending. A pair of 4-yard touchdown runs in week 1 for Barker. He gets a 1-yard score here. Bear Gardner didn't get a chance to attempt the kick after the first touchdown. After the low snap, Myers had to again handle a low snap here. This time gets it down, though, and Gardner punches it through. 15-0 Spring Hill on top of Ottawa after the 1-yard touchdown run by Zaid Barker. 6:59 left in the 2nd quarter. It's Spring Hill 15, Ottawa 0.
Prime Accounting Solutions in Spring Hill is here to help you and your business grow. From accounting services to tax planning, Prime Accounting is here to help you meet your goals and achieve your dreams. The accountants at Prime Accounting Solutions stay up to date on the latest news and information, ensuring the best options, services, and returns for you. Give Prime Accounting Solutions a call at 913-592-2050. Visit them at 408 North Webster in Spring Hill or go online to primeaccounting.net.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
6:59 left to play 2nd quarter. Spring Hill leads Ottawa 15-0 after a 1-yard touchdown run by Zaid Barker as the Spring Hill Broncos take advantage of an Ottawa fumble. Both teams turned it over on consecutive possessions, but Ottawa, they were on the back end of that back-to-back turnover, so for them, it cost them some points after they were unable to make the Spring Hill turnover costly. A touchback at the kickoff from Gardner, and the Ottawa offense will take over at the 20-yard line. They've been into Spring Hill territory now on a couple of occasions, but as soon as they've crossed midfield, they've gotten as close as the 35, but really haven't threatened much down there. They've kind of had some self-inflicted wounds once they've got down there in range. 6:59 left 2nd quarter as Caleb Kessinger, he took a big hit, lost a fumble after the poor snap last time out. That was the turnover that led to the Spring Hill touchdown. Kessinger Gives it to Talon Morris. He's strung out to the far side, and nothing there for Morris. Jackson rounds on again. He's having a great game. The outside linebacker for the Spring Hill defense makes that tackle on Morris in the backfield. On a 3-yard loss, back to the 17-yard line. Second and 13 now. Again, they gave up that 33-yard run to Caleb Kessinger. And since that 33-yard run to Kessinger, there have been 10 runs for Ottawa that have netted 0 yards. So they have really stiffened up the rushing defense after that big run on the second play from scrimmage for Ottawa. Second down and 13 on their own 17-yard line. Kessinger keeps it. He's got space on the near side. Up to forcing to bounce again was Dom Shear, and out of bounds goes Kessinger at about the 21 or 2-yard line. He picks up 5, and a good job there by Dom Shear, the cornerback on the near side. He was the last contained man, and he was able to keep that contain on Kessinger after just a 5-yard run. Brings up third down and 8 now. 6 minutes to play in the first half. A chance to quickly get the football back into the hands of the offense as the defense has forced him into a 3rd and long again. 3rd down and 8. Richards, the wide receiver to the near side. Aho, the wide receiver to the far side. Those are the top 2 targets for Kessinger. We'll see if they go to the air on 3rd and 8. Instead, they are going to go in the air on a flea flicker. His arm was hit, and Kessinger's pass flops down to the ground at the 35. Stovall made an effort diving after it, but Chase Wilm and Carson Downs pressuring the quarterback, Caleb Kessinger there, hit his arm on the flea flicker. And even without that, the secondary for Spring Hill, they did their jobs. They stayed disciplined. They were there in coverage still, so it was not going to be a gimme pass by any means. But then after they got the pressure on him and Wilm and Downs hit the arm of Kessinger on the throw, it made it no chance to convert. So a 4th and 8 now after the 3 and out. And Kessinger to pump for the Cyclones. And nearly getting to it and blocking it was Dickey, but Kessinger got it away, and it bounces at about the 43 of Ottawa. It will come to a rest at the 46 of the Cyclones. So great starting field position for Spring Hill. They'll start in plus territory with 5:48 left in the half and leading 15-0. Man, Wyatt Dickey, I'd like to see the end zone camera view. We don't have that view, but on the coach's film, once this game's over, to look at that end zone cam, because it looked like Wyatt Dickey was very close to blocking that Caleb Kessinger punt. Great field position for Spring Hill, coming off the touchdown. Last time they had it, it took them just 2 plays, a 25-yard run and then a 1-yard run by Zayd Barker for the touchdown. They'll start at the 46-yard line. Myers for the pistol has Barker set up just behind him, who's already carried it 10 times. And now he'll get his 11th carry. Stumbles backwards in the backfield, trying to find some green grass, but Dadrian Aho makes the tackle back at the 48-yard line. A 2-yard loss on the first down carry by Barker.
Loss of 3 on the break, brings up 2nd down and 13.
2nd and long with 5.5, just under 5.5 to go in the first half. 15-0 Spring Hill lead. 1 touchdown through the air, 1 on the ground so far. Barker already 11 carries. They've thrown the ball just 3 times. Mitchell, Klutz, and Knowlton all go left. Evan Letellier, the lone receiver to the right on a 2nd down and 12. Low snap to Myers. Straight drop and looking for Letellier. Can't make the catch on the post off his fingertips, so the outstretched right hand. He had a seam right through the 2 defenders on this side, and if that ball was caught by Letellier, he was going to walk in for a touchdown. Instead, it'll bring up 3rd down and 13. Haven't faced many 3rd downs of this distance so far. Now a game and a half so far to start the 2013 season. Likely going to go to the air with Myers, who threw for 171 last week. He's 2 out of 4 through the air in this ball game. He's in the traditional shotgun now, has 2 receivers on both sides of the formation. Knowlton comes in motion out of the right slot to send 3 receivers left. Screen to Knowlton, back on that left side, and Zach Knowlton, a tunnel screen through the middle of the defense, lost the football on the hit. Gage Klutz, or rather, not Klutz, but would have been Thompson, the right tackle, who dove in there, trying to recover that football after it was knocked loose out of the arm of Knowlton. No signal yet as to who has recovered. Still waiting on a signal, and it is Spring Hill with the football. It's Evan Letellier who dove in there to get it, and it's right at the first down markers, and I think we're going to have a measurement. So it's a 13-yard catch and run on the little wide receiver screen to Knowlton. And now we'll check the chains. This one's going to be very close. The ball outside of the near hash, and the chains on the far side of the field, so they'll bring them across to measure with 4:45 left in the second quarter. That was a 3rd and 13 for Spring Hill. And either way here, I'd imagine Spring Hill's either going to go for it on this, what would be 4th and inches, or they're going to applaud a first down and go from there. And that is a first down, it appears, through my binocular lens. Let's see what the officials say. They want to make sure they've got the chains fully extended here, because if it's a first down, it's by the nose of the football, and if it's not a first down, it's by the nose of a football. It is a first down for Spring Hill. They got just what they needed on 3rd and 13 to move the chains with 4:45 left in the half. Once they get things set up here and the ball placed and the chains move down, they will wind the clock. But Spring Hill on the move again with a 15-point lead and looking for more. Clock winds, 1st and 10 to the 36. Myers sends Knowlton in motion, and this time hands it off to the slot man. And Zach Knowlton nowhere to go. He is strung out and dropped for probably a loss of a yard when it's all said and done. Adrian Aho, the safety, came up to make the tackle. 1 yard loss on the carry by Knowlton.
Loss of a yard on the play. 2nd down and 11 from the 37.
2nd and 11. 4:10 and counting left to play in the first half. Spring Hill looking to add up a 15-point lead. Klutz, the tight end, close on the right side. There's 3 targets total that way. And Barker runs right up the middle. Zaid Barker zigzags his way through the line down to the 27-yard line. It's a 10-yard run to bring up 3rd down and 1.
Gain of 10 yards on the play. Brings up 3rd down and 1.
9 yards shy of the century mark here in the first half for Zaid Barker. They converted 3rd and 13 a moment ago. This a much easier task on the surface anyway. A 3rd down and 1. They bunch the 4 receivers tight to the line, 2 on each side. Barker stands behind Myers, and Myers pulls it out of the belly of Barker, keeping it himself for a first down as Corbin Myers lowers the shoulder pads and burrows his way down to about the 13-yard line. They'll mark it at the 14. It's a 12-yard run for Corbin Myers on a 3rd down and 1. And it moves the chains before Peyton Lee can make the tackle for the Cyclones. 3:08 left in the half. 14 yards away from another score and back into the red zone. They're 1 for 1 in this game in the red zone. They're now 5 for 5 on the year scoring when they've gotten into the red zone. From the 14, 1st and 10. Myers, a handoff to Barker, and Zaid is stopped after a short 2-yard gain down at the 12. Peyton Lee again with that tackle. Nicholas Reimer, junior defensive end, helped out on the stop, but Peyton Lee, their senior middle linebacker, he's been their most active defender along with Adrian Aho, the safety who has the interception. Ottawa was unable to take advantage, though, of that turnover they forced. Ended up giving it back on a turnover of their own that resulted in the second touchdown 2 plays later for Spring Hill. And now the Broncos 11 yards out, or 12 yards out, rather, from adding a 3rd score. After the play fake to Barker, Myers pulls it and throws the slant to Knowlton for the touchdown. Zach Knowlton just snuck his way behind those linebackers in front of the safeties and caught the quick slant from Myers for the score. 12-yard touchdown pass, second of the game for Myers, and a first touchdown reception of the year for Zach Knowlton on his 5th overall reception this season. 21-0 Spring Hill, and an extra point attempt coming up from Bear Gardner. Corbin Myers, the holder, again has to handle a low snap, but he's perfect on the hold, and Gardner is perfect on the kick. 22-0 Spring Hill on top of Ottawa with 2:07 to play in the first half. You're watching Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
22-0 lead for the Spring Hill Broncos on top of the Ottawa Cyclones with 2:07 to play in the first half. Latest score, a pass from Corbin Myers to Zach Knowlton for a 12-yard touchdown. Second touchdown pass for Myers. A Zayd Barker touchdown run in there as well. And a 22-0 lead for Spring Hill. And it's a touchback. The clock, as you can see, is running. It shouldn't be, but the clock is still ticking away, and nobody has noticed it. None of the officials have yet noticed that the clock is running. And now the head official has noticed that the clock is running, so he is signaling to stop the game clock, and they've got to get that reset. But now they stop it at 1:37. It should be at 2:07. Should be the game clock, because it never should have run on that. There's never any touch on that one. So they'll get the clock situation figured out as I get our clock situation figured out as well. It is second quarter here. 2:07 left to play in this second quarter. Coming up, stay with us for the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show. We'll take a look at all the stats, the recap, check some other scores, and get ready for the second half. But we've got 2:07 to play still in this first half. In Ottawa, out of the shotgun, low snap back to Kessinger and throws it into double coverage on the far sideline, looking for his top target, Jose Richards, but he sailed it over his head, incomplete, into the Spring Hill bench.
Second down and 10.
Well, 2:02 to play in the opening half. Ottawa, only one big play really for them so far. They've got a 33-yard run from Kessinger. An 11-yard pass would be their next biggest play, and everything else has been 7 yards or less against the Spring Hill defense that played very well against Lewisburg in week 1. And they're working on a first half shutout with 2 minutes to go before they can claim that. And there's another run that goes nowhere for Ottawa. Cyclones really struggling to find real estate on the ground as Talon Morris was shut down for a no gain. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. And that timeout taken by Spring Hill. Broncos using a timeout on the defensive side of the football here with 1:50 left in the half. They want to get this football back and try to add to what's a 22-0 lead for the Broncos. And they gave up a late touchdown last week in that Lewisburg game, late in the half, that for a moment anyway, that kind of looked like it might be a big-time momentum shifter that would put Lewisburg, propel them all the way to a victory perhaps, but then Spring Hill able to avoid trailing in that game as they held to a field goal to Lewisburg late in that second half then on the second possession for Lewisburg to tie the game as opposed to giving the Wildcats the lead. And then they answered that field goal with one of their own to go up 27-24 before they then got a fingertip on a field goal try. Dom Shear was able to get a fingertip or two on the field goal try as time expired from Lewisburg to preserve that 27-24 lead. So this time around, the defense trying to make a 3rd down and 10 stop here to give their offense a chance for that late first half score. Kessinger will work from their shotgun on 3rd and 10 at his own 20-yard line. Sets up to throw and takes a deep shot down the far sideline. Aho laying out on the sideline to make the catch, but it is incomplete. Heck of an effort by Deidre Aho on that far sideline with Dom Shear and Hunter Williard both in coverage.
Brings a 4th down for the Cyclones.
But it's an incomplete pass and a 4th down and 10, so Ottawa will have to punt with 1:43 left in the half. Dom Shear is the deep man back for Spring Hill, and he is setting up at about the 40. Well, now he's going to back up right around midfield, give or take a yard or two on either side. Zach Knowlton also joins Shear back there as return guys. They have backpedaled their way now to about the 45 of Spring Hill. The snap back to Kessinger. A low spiraling punt, angled to the far sideline, bounces just shy of midfield, and then across midfield into Spring Hill territory where it's down to the 48-yard line. Plenty of time, though, for Spring Hill. They've got a pair of timeouts, and they've got 52 yards to find the end zone. But they also have a weapon in their kicker, Bear Gardner. He's hit 2 field goals already this year. He's a perfect 5 of 5 on extra point kicks. He missed a 46-yarder last week, but they have confidence in Bear up to even 50 yards if the time presents itself. And near the end of a half, that would be the type of a time where a long field goal would be a real possibility. We'll see if it even comes to that or whether they can get all the way down to the end zone. They start at the 47-yard line, and Knowlton makes the first down catch and picks up another first down as he gets it down to the 41 of Ottawa for 12 yards. The clock will stop momentarily while they move the chains. Spring Hill quickly up to the line of scrimmage so they can try to get this snap off as quick as possible, as there's the signal from the official and the clock begins to wind. 1:20 left in the half after the 12-yard completion. First down and 10 for Spring Hill. They go back to Barker on the ground, and Zayd Barker moves the chains inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. 13 more for Barker, and again, the clock will stop momentarily while the chains move. From the 28-yard line with 1:09 left in the half. 2 quick hitters for 12 and 13, and they are within striking range now as the clock goes down to a minute left in the half. Myers, quick throw to Knowlton out of the slot, shook one tackler, spins away from a second tackler, and he's down to the 17-yard line with another first down. 12 more yards before Lee makes the stop. Well, they are making this 2-minute drill look like perfection right now, getting first downs, allowing the clock to stop while they move up to the line of scrimmage. Barker on 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line, inside the 10 as he is down to the 9 for 8 yards, and Spring Hill going to let the clock continue to run. Now they want a timeout with 35 seconds left in the half. They use their second timeout after the 8-yard run by Zayd Barker. So they still have one timeout remaining. They can get a first down here in 2 yards, and that would stop the clock momentarily while the chains move in that case. So really plenty of time from the 9-yard line now with 35 seconds left in the half. This is a perfect drive to end this half, or at least perfect to this point. Jason Feeback and the coaching staff will tell you it's not perfect at this point, though, unless they find the end zone here. Well within range for Bear Gardner at this point. But they don't want 3 here. And I asked Coach before the season started what range they felt comfortable with Gardner, and he says, how about we just score touchdowns and don't have to worry about it? I said, well, yeah, that'd be nice. But what happens if you don't? Then what's the confidence in Gardner? And he laughed and said, probably 50. They're not going to need that much out of Gardner if it comes to that at this point. They're 9 yards away from the end zone with 35 seconds left in the half. 2nd down and 1. Spring Hill does have 1 timeout remaining if they need it. 3 receivers are left. Latillier, the lone wide out to the right side of the formation. Myers rolls the pocket to his left, throws it in the back of the end zone through the hands of Knowlton and incomplete. 29 seconds remains. That ends a streak of 4 straight pass completions for Myers, who's had a solid half outside of the 1 interception. Threw into double coverage for a pick. It didn't end up costing him, though. He's 6 of 9 for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns. And on 3rd and 1, a running play very much still in the playbook here for Nick Madeline, because they would need just the yard to get the 1st down, which would stop the clock momentarily for them. And they do have the timeout as well. So they definitely still have the rushing attack available to them on this 3rd down and 1. And that's what they'll do. Barker up the middle. Nice jump cut out to the right behind his center, Denver Gardner, who had the middle linebacker tied up. And Barker is in for a 9-yard touchdown. 2nd touchdown run of the half for Zaid Barker, and 4th of the year, to make it 28-0 Spring Hill with 25 seconds left to go in the 1st half. Great vision there by Zaid Barker, and Jason Feeback, he's going to be awfully excited to watch that one. Denver Gardner, his center, was down at the 2nd level on that linebacker to set that block and allow Barker to get in there. Morgan Abel, the offensive line coach, he's going to love that one on film as well. Extra point good from Bear Gardner with 25 seconds to go in the half. It's now 29-0 Spring Hill on top of Ottawa on Spring Hill Sports Live.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
40-yard line, number 10. Bear Gardner to do the honor. Teams return to the Cyclones, Richards and Aho.
25 seconds left in the 1st half. 29-0 Spring Hill. Their 4th touchdown of the half was a 9-yard run by Zaid Barker. His 2nd of the ball game, and it's a dominant 1st half showing from Spring Hill. They've got 25 seconds to close it out. Aho fields the kick, or rather Richards fields that kickoff at the 2-yard line, and Zach Knowlton brings him down to the 14. Good coverage by the Spring Hill kicking team, and 19 seconds remains in the half. I would be surprised to see anything too aggressive from Ottawa this deep in their own territory at the 13-yard line, and only 19 seconds left of the half. But we'll see what Rob Hedrick and his Ottawa Cyclones opt to do here. Down 29-0 in their home opener after a Week 1 win over Baldwin. They've lost 7 straight here at Steve Grogan Stadium. And they are in a big 1st half hole here in Week 2 of the 2019 season. Kessinger, the quarterback, works from the shotgun and will hand off to Talon Morris. And a very conservative play call as expected. Morris runs into a wall of white Bronco defender jerseys at the 17 or 18-yard line. A 4-yard run, and that will close out the 1st half. Well, never mind, it won't. There is a penalty flag down. So let's see what the flag is before we put a wrap on the half. It's a dead ball. A dead ball penalty, offsetting penalties against both teams. So the official's still deciding what they're going to do with it here, and let's just get it over with. There are 2 seconds left. So 2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard run. 2 seconds left in the half. And the official having a conversation with Kessinger, the quarterback. I think he's asking, is the clock going to wind? Because if so, we don't need to get out here. And the official now telling him the clock is going to wind. And so Kessinger's looking at him like, okay, well, just do it so we can get out of here. And there it is. So that's the end of the first half. And it is Spring Hill 29, Ottawa scoreless through one half of football here in week 2. The Cyclones trying to make some adjustments, but the Broncos, they're looking pretty as they look for their first 2-0 start since 2001 and a 29-point halftime lead for Spring Hill. Coming up next, it's the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance Halftime Show on your home for the Broncos, Spring Hill Sports Live. Your local farmer's insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to Cool Crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Open, flexible, and dedicated to our clients with impeccable customer support. That's why you choose Tri-Century Bank. Have your bank right in your hands with mobile banking and manage your money from the comfort of your home with convenient online banking. Tri-Century is ideal for your business with competitive rates on loans and credit cards to help meet your goals. For 125 years, Tri-Century Bank has been serving Spring Hill. To learn more, join them for one of their monthly coffees. See upcoming events at tricentury.bank.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Halftime in Ottawa tonight, 29-0. The Spring Hill Broncos lead the Ottawa Cyclones. Welcome into the Leah Smith Agency halftime show. And we're going to take a look at some stats, recap this first half for you, and get ready for the second half as well. But really a strong start to this game for Spring Hill. The Broncos able to score on their opening drive of this game after they forced a punt after Spring Hill, or rather Ottawa moved it deep into Spring Hill territory, at least deep for their standards in this game, 35-yard line. And really after that, it was a 33-yard Ottawa run on that second play from scrimmage for the Cyclones. And after that 33-yard run, they have had 36 total yards of offense since that 33-yard run. So a dominant defensive first half and 4 first-half touchdowns for the Spring Hill Broncos. As we take a look at our Eye on the Game, brought to you by White Cell Optometry Vision Source. Keep an eye on your child's screen time. If they're experiencing eye strain or headaches, it might be a good time for an exam. Make an appointment with White Cell Optometry Vision Source by calling 913-592-2020. And be sure to ask about the 2020 rule. So after that first stop of the game at the defense, Corbin Myers capped off an 80-yard touchdown drive with a 32-yard touchdown pass to Gage Klutz at the 4:04 mark of the first half. Second time those two guys have hooked up for scores this year. They botched the snap on the extra point. It came in low, took a bounce back to Myers. He was able to short hop the bounce, though, and didn't panic. Stood up, found Logan Greenhoff the 2-point conversion. So even though it started ugly, it ended with 2 instead of the traditional Bear Gardner extra point. So it made it 8-0 at the time for Spring Hill. That was the only first half points of this game, as Spring Hill didn't touch the football again in the first quarter. Or first quarter points. I think I said first half, but that was the only first quarter points for Spring Hill, as Ottawa then possessed it for the final 4 minutes of the half before they eventually, or for the quarter, before they eventually punted it back to Spring Hill again. And once more, Spring Hill able to go down the field and actually turned it over on their second possession then, an interception by Dadrian Aho, but it was only a few plays later before Spring Hill forced a turnover of their own. Ottawa fumbled it, and Spring Hill scooped it up at the 26-yard line. 2 plays later, Zade Barker ran in from a 1-yard touchdown run to make it 15-0 on the Gardner extra point. They got it back the time after that and capitalized for another touchdown after a defensive punt was forced on a 3-and-out. Corbin Myers this time hooked up with Zach Knowlton for a 12-yard touchdown. That made it 22-0 Spring Hill. They again got a 3-and-out stop by the defense, and with just under 2 minutes left in the half, they took over at their own 47-yard line and methodically moved it down the field, or just precision passing down the field with 13 here, 12 there, 12 more, and then another 10, and all of a sudden they were down inside the 10-yard line, and then Zade Barker took it from 9 yards out in for the second time in the ball game with 25 seconds to spare in the first half. Bear Gardner added another extra point, and it was 29-0 at the time, and that is our halftime score. Spring Hill 29 and Ottawa scoreless through one half of football. More of the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show coming up next here from Ottawa tonight, where the Spring Hill Broncos are looking to get to 2-0. They're halfway there, and they're up 29-0. You're watching Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
What if grass wasn't just for mowing? What if all the games weren't on TV? What if you saw the grandkids on more than just holidays? What if you got out of the house more often, maybe for good? Cedar Lake Village Senior Living. Life is how you live, not just where. To learn more, call 888-508-2022.
Prime Accounting Solutions in Spring Hill is here to help you and your business grow. From accounting services to tax planning, Prime Accounting is here to help you meet your goals and achieve your dreams. The accountants at Prime Accounting Solutions stay up to date on the latest news and information, ensuring the best options, services, and returns for you. Give Prime Accounting Solutions a call at 913-592-2050. Visit them at 408 North Webster in Spring Hill or go online to primeaccounting.net. Weitzel Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Weitzel Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Weitzel and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Weitzel Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Halftime in Ottawa. Welcome back inside the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show. Leah has over 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri. To learn more, call 913-221-0755. Just up the street at 159th and Merlin. Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos. Marching band on the field right now for the Ottawa Cyclones as we are at the half, 29-0. Spring Hill with the halftime lead over the Ottawa Cyclones as we take a look at our first half stats, and it's pretty much as you'd expect with the score, all Spring Hill. The Broncos outgaining Ottawa 237 yards of total offense to just 69 for the Cyclones. On the ground, Spring Hill with 144 while running for 7.2 yards per carry average. Ottawa averaging just 2.7 yards per carry. They've totaled 41 rushing yards in the first half. Cyclones just 28 yards through the air. Spring Hill 93 passing yards in the first half. Both teams turned it over once. Spring Hill gave it away on an interception. Ottawa gave it away on a fumble. But Spring Hill capitalized for 7 points off of that Ottawa turnover. Cyclones, after they forced the turnover, that's when they committed their one turnover. Penalty-wise, Ottawa just 2 penalties for 20 yards in the first half. Spring Hill had 4 penalties for 25 yards in the first half. Those all happened, though, within the first 10 minutes, or rather before the 10-minute mark of the second quarter. So in the first 14 minutes of the half, then they cleaned it up after that point. And those are your team stats here from the first half of this ball game. Taking a look at the individual numbers, Ottawa's Caleb Kessinger, just 38 yards on the ground. 33 of it came on one carry. The rest of the first half, the Cyclones had 36 yards of offense outside of that 33-yard run. Through the air, Kessinger is 4 out of 9 for 28 yards. Aaron Clevenger, he carried the ball the most in the first half, but didn't get a lot done. Just 1 yard on 7 carries in the first half for Clevenger. Talon Morris, on his 5 carries, he netted -1 yards of offense in the first half. So it was a tough go of it there for the rushing attack for the Cyclones. And in the air, those 4 completions from Kessinger, 2 of them went to Dadrian Aho for 16 yards. Colin Creech caught 1 pass for 7, and Seth Hubison caught 1 pass for 5 yards. Much prettier numbers for the Spring Hill Bronco offense. They were led by Zayd Barker. We expected a lot from Barker in this game. After last season, he ran for over 200 yards on 33 carries and 4 touchdowns against Ottawa. Well, he's on his way to that and more perhaps tonight. 16 carries, 123 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns for Barker. And the only thing that will probably, or maybe, possibly anyway, keep him from reaching those numbers that he had last year is the score. And if they decide to pull him out at some point with the big lead, if things go in the second half the way they have here in the first half. But a big first half from Barker, 16 carries, 123 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Corbin Myers ran 3 times for 22 yards, and Zach Knowlton's 1 carry went for a loss of a yard. Through the air, Myers 6 of 9, 93 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Zach Knowlton was his favorite target, 4 catches, 49 yards, and 1 touchdown for Zach Knowlton. That was his first touchdown reception of the season. Myers also found Gage Klutz 1 time, but it was a big one, a 32-yard touchdown. That was the first score of the game for the Broncos. Second time that Myers and Klutz have hooked up for a touchdown this year. And Daniel Mitchell also was on the receiving end of one of those 6 Corbin Myers first half completions. The Mitchell catch went for 12 yards. It was Daniel's first reception of the season. So those are your first half stats so far in this one. It's been all Broncos, 29-0 Spring Hill with the lead over the Ottawa Cyclones. Taking a look at a few other scores, see if we have any other of the Frontier League scores at halftime. It looks like Paola, this is a non-league game, they're taking on Fort Scott on the road tonight, but it's all Paola in that one, 44-0. Paola, the lead at a halftime. That matchup for Spring Hill is 2 weeks out when they visit Paola in week 4. Next week they have Bonner Springs at home and then Paola on the road. So that one would appear like in the early going, Paola probably your favorite. They're ranked 4 in a couple of different polls in the classification of 4A, and in the league they're probably considered your favorite right now. But that could be a big game coming up in a couple of weeks between Spring Hill and Paola. But Spring Hill still has to finish this one out and then still have to do their job next week on homecoming with Bonner Springs coming to town. But anyway, Paola 44-0 lead at halftime in that ball game. That's the only halftime score I see that's been reported so far from the Frontier League. Anyway, there was an earlier score in the second quarter. This game, this is about 20 minutes ago, and this was reported, so it is probably close to, if not at half right now. But Tonganoxie, a 21-6 lead on Lewisburg. So Lewisburg, who lost last week, of course, to Spring Hill, they have not started 0-2 since who knows when. They hadn't lost their opener since 2011, and I'm not even sure the last time they started 0-2. But they, at least at one point in the second quarter, were down 15 to Tonganoxie. And that matchup for Spring Hill against Tonganoxie, that'll be 2 weeks then after the Paola game on October 11th, with a non-league matchup with DeSoto sandwiched between those 2 road games at Paola and at Tonganoxie. So that'll be a tough 3-week stretch there, and a big 3-week stretch for the Spring Hill Broncos. But that's the scores I've got for you at this point. For the rest of the Frontier League action, we'll continue to update it and see if we can get some more before we get back to action. It's the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show. We'll continue with it right after this here as Spring Hill leads Ottawa 29-0 at the break here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's Heating and Air Conditioning Company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Your home for Bronco Athletics is Spring Hill Sports Live. The Broncos return home Friday night as they welcome in the Bonner Springs Braves. Our pregame coverage starts at 6:30, kickoff at 7. It's the Broncos and Braves Friday night, right here on your home for Spring Hill Athletics, Spring Hill Sports Live.
Your local Farmers Insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving hearing on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back to the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show. 29-0. Spring Hill leads Ottawa on the road. Looking to start 2-0 for the first time since 2001 are the Spring Hill Broncos. It's been 18 years. Most of these guys on the field tonight weren't even alive last time that Spring Hill started 2-0, and they are well on their way to that with a 29-0 halftime lead here in Ottawa tonight. Spring Hill will get the football to start the second half as well, so a chance to put the pedal down right away again. It's time for the Chamber Connection, brought to you by the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce. Tickets are on sale now for the 2019 Awards Dinner, scheduled for Tuesday, November 12th. Get tickets at springhillks.org. And while you're there, check out information on Leadership Spring Hill, a comprehensive leadership and civic development program starting January 2020, now accepting applications. Second half starts next. You've been watching the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show. Second half coming up with Spring Hill leading Ottawa 29-0 on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's Heating and Air Conditioning Company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to cool crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
We are headed to the second half here in Ottawa tonight. It's Spring Hill 29 and the Ottawa Cyclones scoreless to start this second half of football. Beautiful night here in Ottawa. 68 degrees as we start this second half. Just a slight little 6-mile-per-hour southeast breeze here at Steve Grogan Stadium in Ottawa tonight. One more score I saw here from the Frontier League at halftime. Piper blasting Baldwin 43-0 at the half. I haven't seen the Tonganoxie Lewisburg halftime score yet, but Tongi was up by 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. So here's Zach Knowlton to return the second half kickoff to start things out for Spring Hill, and Knowlton is all the way back to the 45-yard line. So great starting field position for the Spring Hill offense as we start the second half. 4 first-half touchdowns for the Broncos, and they lead it 29-0. Corbin Myers threw for 2. Zaid Barker ran for 2. Klutz and Knowlton were on the receiving ends of those touchdown passes. Another strong night for this offensive line. Aaron Dominic, Wyatt George, Denver Gardner, J.B. Watkins, and Tanner Thompson, who were a very bright spot of the Week 1 victory. They have been very good again tonight. Knowlton will get the touch after the kick return from Knowlton. He gets the first touch from scrimmage as well on the quick pass from Myers. And not a lot there, just a couple of yards for Zach Knowlton to the 47-yard line, 2-yard completion. As we're just underway now, second half, a 29-0 lead for the Spring Hill Broncos. Barker carried 16 times in the first half for a $123. He stands behind Myers, who's in the pistol on a 2nd down and 8. And it's Barker who gets the carry. Bounces outside right at midfield, inside of the 40-yard line as he works his way down that Spring Hill sideline and eventually ushered out of bounds at about the 32 or 3-yard line. A 20-yard run for Zaid Barker. And it's another first down for Spring Hill.
Barker carries to the Cyclone 34-yard line, 1st and 10.
They mark it at the 34-yard line, in fact, so he picks up about 22 yards on the run. And it's 1st and 10, Spring Hill opening possession of the second half of the Broncos, looking to add to their 29-0 lead. And there are 2 receivers moving while they snap that football, so that's going to draw a flag. And both Klutz and Mitchell, the 2 receivers on the bottom of the screen there, you saw they both were repositioning when Myers called for that snap. So the illegal procedure against Spring Hill will cost them 5, and to make it 1st and 15 back at the 39-yard line now. Four first-half penalties. That's the 5th now of the game for Spring Hill. 1 more than they had in the Lewisburg game. And for the offense, who had just 1 penalty in the Lewisburg game, they've committed 3 thus far in this ball game. First down and 15. Back to Barker they go. And Zaid Barker again following behind his center, Denver Gardner, as he put a hand right on Gardner's back and followed him down to the 34-yard line. They get the penalty yardage back on a 5-yard run. And it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the near hash with 10:20 and counting left, 3rd quarter. Spring Hill led 8-0 at the end of 1, then added 21 points in the second quarter, with the last of it coming with just a half-minute left in the second quarter. So they have opened this lead up big, 29-point advantage, and looking to add more. 2nd down and 10 from the 34-yard line. A pump fake to the slot man, and that leaves wide open Knowlton, who makes the catch as he's tumbling to the ground. There is a penalty flag. He pumped it to Letillier. I said the slot man was the outside receiver, Letillier, who got the pump fake there from Myers, and it left Knowlton wide open behind the defense, and the pass led him a little bit too much, so he had to lay out to catch it. But it was all for naught anyway, as the penalty against Spring Hill will bring it back.
Scores of interest at halftime. Tonganoxie leads Lewisburg 14-6.
Well, they just reported here a 14-6 Tonganoxie lead at halftime, but the tweet earlier that I saw had them up 21-6. So I'm not. I guess it depends on whose word you want to take for that one. Either way, Tongi's up. So the hold against Spring Hill brings it back to the 47-yard line now. And a 2nd and about 14, or rather a 24. 2nd and 24 here. And it's Myers going option right side. Kept it himself down to the 38 or 9-yard line. We'll give him 8 yards on the run. as they try to make it a little bit more manageable on third down. And from 2nd and 24, it'll bring up now 2nd down and 15. 9-yard run from Myers, or 3rd down and 15 rather. So a 3rd and long. They're across midfield, possibly in 4-down territory. It's one of those where Nick Madeline may try to draw something up to gain 6 or 7 and make it a manageable 4th down situation. 3 receivers are left for Myers. He's looking the single receiver side of Letillier. Now comes back over to Klutz, who was the middleman of that 3-man set on the left side. It's deflected away and incomplete. Adrian Aho with the coverage on Klutz. And now on 4th down and 16, or 4th down and 15, it looks like they're going to have to end up punting for the first time tonight, as the penalties really did them in on that possession. Logan Greenhall is out to punt it, and he had a couple of punts inside the 20 last week. He had a 70-yard boomer that got a lot of a rollout as well down to the 2-yard line, but pretty good senior punter for Spring Hill, and he'll be punting just inside of the 50, trying to pin this one deep for Ottawa, as Aho lets it bounce at the 10, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback, as Hunter Williard was trying his best to avoid that one going in there, but and it'll be a touchback pending a penalty flag that was thrown during the punt. A little bit of a sloppy start here to this second half, with already the 2 penalties against Spring Hill, and now a discussion about another penalty. 8:50 remains in the 3rd quarter, a 29-0 Spring Hill lead, and let's see what they call here. It's a holding penalty against Ottawa, so that'll help out on that punt from Greenhall. It was a touchback, but now it'll be at the 10-yard line.
Holding penalty against the Cyclones.
So Ottawa deep in their own territory to start their first second half possession. Really struggled to do anything against this Spring Hill defense in the first half. They had 69 yards of offenses all in the first half, and 33 of that 69 came on one play.
That will take place right before the start of the 4th quarter. If you have tonight's winning number, that we'll give you after this play. Please report.
29-0 deficit for the Cyclone offense, as Caleb Kessinger brings the offense out of the field as wingbacks and the tailback Clevenger. Quick throw through the hands of his receiver on the outside, Cuppison. So 2nd down and 10 coming up now for Ottawa. And Kessinger has now missed his last 4 passes. He's 4 for 10 in the ball game. He completed 4 of his first 6, but over his last 4. Eric Dunaway, the late substitution, the tight end coming in with the play. Play clock's not working. You have to look at the back judge for that play clock. Once it gets under 10, he'll put his hand up. He has not done so yet. 2nd down and 10 from the 10 for Ottawa. Handoff is met with, again, a tough defensive front by Spring Hill. They're just being very stingy up the middle, as Aaron Clevenger was unable to get anything on that carry, had no gain, and it's 3rd down and 10. Clevenger, 8 carries for 1 yard in this game. Granted, he did lose 10 on 1, but even if you take that out of there, that's 11 yards on 7 carries. It's been a tough go for the Ottawa ground game. 3rd down and 10 at their own 10. They spread 4 receivers out in the formation this time, and Kessinger wants to throw, being pressured as he runs to the near sideline, throws it up for grabs down the near sideline and over the head of his intended receiver, Talon Morris. Jacob Stovall, along with Jackson Roundzon, putting the pressure on the quarterback Kessinger there, forcing his 5th straight incompletion and a quick 3 and out from the Ottawa offense from their own 10-yard line. So they'll be punting back to Spring Hill with Knowlton and Shear, the deep guys, and this should net some great field position for Ottawa, or rather for Spring Hill off this Ottawa punt. Kessinger, the quarterback, also the punter. He's standing just inside of his own goal line. High snap, forces him back a couple of steps, but no pressure. Spring Hill bringing a return on this one rather than the punt block, and not much there for Knowlton. Aho makes the tackle immediately after Knowlton caught it at the 36-yard line, but they'll still have tremendous field position, leading 29-0 with 7:48 left in the third quarter, and they'll take over at the 36-yard line. Last time they had it to start this second half, Spring Hill looked like they were going to pick up right where they left off, moving the football down the field, but they got right about this spot, and then penalties bit them. And a big play to Knowlton was negated by a hold. Another first down run was, or rather another play on first down was forced back on a false start, put them behind the chains, and ultimately they ended up having to punt for the first time. Myers throws the slant again to Knowlton, who's been a hot target for Myers tonight. That one's good for 9. The 6th catch for Zach Knowlton in this game, totaling 60 yards. He's got a touchdown as well, and he's been the go-to guy. He's caught 6 of the 8 passes that have been completed by Corbin Myers in this ball game. They give him 8 officially on the catch, so 2nd down and 2. Myers changes the alignment a little bit here on a 2nd down and 2. And gives it up the middle to Zaid Barker, who bursts free, shakes off Aho, and he's in for a touchdown. A flag comes in late, though. The line judge on the near side, where Gage Klutz was engaged with the defender, that's where the flag came. So let's see if this is going to negate as the Ottawa defense is clapping their hands. Looks like this is going to negate the 27-yard touchdown run by Barker. And it is a holding penalty against Spring Hill. Well, it's still going to result in a first down, it looks like, because that'll be a spot foul from where Klutz committed the hold, although now the official is pointing back closer to about the 15-yard line, which would make it still a first down, but barely. Let's see. Are they going to mark it off from about the 14, so it'll move it back to the 24. It's still going to result in a first down. So despite the holding penalty, it takes a touchdown off the board, but the chains still move for Spring Hill. 1st and 10 at the 24. Seven minutes left, third quarter. Barker standing to Myers' left, and that's Knowlton, the motion man. Barker gets it going opposite that motion. Trying to get outside of Richards on the far sideline, reaching out for the pylon, and he is out of bounds just short of the goal line. Tough running by Zaid Barker as he was doing everything he could to get to the pylon, but stepped out at the 1-yard line. 23-yard run by Barker. He's got 177 yards on the ground in this one with a pair of touchdowns. And if they go back to what happened last time, Barker had a big run all the way to the 1. They went right back to him to cap it off himself. Let's see if Spring Hill opts to do the same again here. Barker behind Myers, out of the pistol. 2 receivers bunched on both sides of the formation. And it is Barker, and he's in yet again. 3rd touchdown for Zaid Barker in this one. And the Broncos go up 35-0 with 6:45 left in the third. Big night from Zaid Barker. We thought we were going to see it. After he ran for 205 yards and 4 touchdowns last year, he's now got 178 yards and 3 touchdowns in this one. Bear Gardner for the extra point. He's connected on all 4 of his point afters in this one and make him 5 for 5.
And the kick is good.
Or I guess that was his 4th. They had the botched one earlier that led to 2 points. Either way, it's a good kick from Gardner, and it's a 36-0 lead for Spring Hill on top of Ottawa. You're watching Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Weitzel Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Weitzel Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Weitzel and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Weitzel Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
The 5th rushing touchdown of the year for Zaid Barker, 3rd tonight from 1 yard out. Makes it 36-0. Spring Hill Broncos on top of Ottawa with 6:45 left in the 3rd. Aho and Richards, the deep men for Ottawa, as Gardner kicks it high end over end to Aho at the 12-yard line. Or that Richards, rather. And he has stood up at the 25. So Ottawa, 3 and out the first time they had it in this second half. That possession started at their own 10-yard line. 2 incomplete passes and a no gain on their only rushing attempt of that possession. So 3 plays, no yards on that one, and so far for the ball game, just 69 yards of offense for Ottawa compared to 311 for Spring Hill. Quarterback Kessinger, running back Clevenger. That's Colin Creech who goes in motion, and they fake it to the first wingback Creech. They give it to the second wingback Aho, and he has stood up, and forward progress is stopped. And we'll see they're going to put it at the 32-yard line. Chase Wilm makes the tackle for Spring Hill, but another negative play for Ottawa. 3-yard loss, 2nd down and 13.
On the 23-yard line, brings up 2nd down for the Cyclones.
Clock nearing 6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Spread it out with 4 receivers this time. Talon Morris, the running back, in with Kessinger. Low snap. Kessinger wanted to throw the quick pass. The low snap threw the timing off. Now he's scrambling all around in the backfield. Ball comes out as he was hit by Stovall and Wilm. And the ball was on the field, and it's recovered by Spring Hill. Carson Downs, Logan Greenhall came up with it after Wilm and Stovall hit him. And Kessinger turns it over for the 2nd time. 2nd lost fumble in the game for Ottawa. Spring Hill capitalized for a touchdown 2 plays after the last turnover they forced. And this time they will be deep into Ottawa territory again, starting at the 20-yard line after the turnover, leading 36-0. Myers and company back onto the field. Zaid Barker's been the workhorse with 21 carries. 3 of those 21 have found the end zone, and he gets it for a 22nd time, bouncing it out to the right side, and he was grabbed by the tail of the jersey and held up. Some help then coming to make the tackle after Morris initially grabbed a hold of Barker there to make the tackle. But Zaid, on 1st down, picks up another 5 yards, and it's 2nd and 5 from the 15. Barker had 76 yards and 2 touchdowns last week, 183 yards and 3 touchdowns tonight. Off to a heck of a start for the senior running back. 3 receivers are left on a 2nd and 5 for Myers. Look in that direction. Throws for Klutz, who lays out to make the catch for a touchdown. What a grab by Gage Klutz. 2nd touchdown catch of the night for Klutz and 3rd of the year. None prettier than that one. 15-yard touchdown reception for Klutz, and it's 42-0 Broncos. Klutz has caught 2 passes in this game. They've both gone for touchdowns after he hauled in 78 yards worth of receptions last week on 3 grabs and a touchdown. Just 2 plays again after the turnover. Spring Hill capitalizes for 6, and now Gardner looking to make it 7 more, and he does. 43-0 Spring Hill with 4:52 to play in the third after a beautiful 15-yard touchdown catch from Gage Klutz. You're watching Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Elliott Insurance Group is a proud supporter of Spring Hill and USD 230. At Elliott Insurance Group, we work, live, and shop in our local communities, serving Miami and Johnson counties for more than 45 years. Elliott Insurance Group understands your needs. As an independent insurance agency, Elliott Insurance Group works with numerous carriers to find the coverage that best fits your needs. In Spring Hill, call 913-592-5552 or visit ElliottInsuranceGroup.com.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
All Broncos tonight, 43-0. Spring Hill leads Ottawa with 4:52 left in the third quarter. You're on Spring Hill Sports Live. Third touchdown pass of the night from Corbin Myers. Second time he's found Gage Klutz, who made a beautiful diving catch right at the goal line for the 15-yard score. And once again, Spring Hill capitalizes on an Ottawa turnover. Gardner's kick sends Aho to the near sideline, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback.
Kick into the end zone, touchback. Cyclones take over.
So the Cyclone offense onto the field for a third time now in the second half, and it's been a rough go like the first half here in the second half for Ottawa. Their first possession, 3 and out, 3 plays that gained 0 yards. Their second possession went backwards on the first play for 3 yards. Then they fumbled on their second play. So they have netted a total of 3 negative yards of offense in the second half and a turnover, and now find themselves down 43-0 with 4:52 left in the third quarter. The tailback, Clevenger, motions out of the right side. There's 4 guys on that side of the field, and the pass deflected by Stovall, who tried to undercut that pass intended for Creech. And Jacob Stovall made sure it wasn't going to get there. Wouldn't have mattered anyway because Creech was not even looking for that football. It was going to be well behind him anyway, but a good play by Stovall nonetheless. So a second down and 10. And Kessinger now has missed on his last 6 pass attempts. Just 4 for 12, 28 yards in the game throwing the football. Only 38 yards on the ground for him. Spring Hill has completely dominated this game with their defense. Second down and 10. Kessinger after the play fake. He's in all kinds of trouble in the backfield and dropped. Well, the ball came out late, but they'll say he was down before that ball came out as Chase Wilm came flying around the outside to get the sack. Back at the 11-yard line is where they'll mark that one. So it's a 9-yard loss. And it's third and forever again for Ottawa. They gave him a 10-yard loss back to the 10 on that play. So third down and 20. 5 receivers for Kessinger this time. Spring Hill brings a 4-man rush. They go quick out to Aho on the right side, the 3 receiver side, but grabbing a hold of his ankles and not letting go was Jackson Roundson. So Aho only able to get 2 yards on that completion. And it is fourth down and 18 now. And no choice but to punt for Ottawa. Corian Duff, the return man this time. So Dom Shear will also go back there. Usually Shear and Knowlton. Now it's Duff and Shear this time, as we might see Spring Hill start to sprinkle in some of the reserves with a 43-point lead in the third quarter. Angled punt to the near sideline, and that ball dangerously close to Hunter Williard, rolls out of bounds right at midfield. That's the second time now tonight we've seen a punt dangerously come close to hitting off of one of the Broncos. But that one harmlessly rolled out of bounds, and Spring Hill's offense back onto the field from the 50-yard line with a 43-0 lead and 3:09 left in the third. We'll see what group takes the field, and it looks like all of the starters are coming back out here for Spring Hill, minus maybe a couple of guys. The offensive line, for the most part, looks like it's starters, although no, there's a couple of reserves in there. You got Denver Gardner, one of the starters, but he's now moved over. Oh, he's still at center, but now multiple reserves on the field. In fact, across the board, other than the center Gardner, it looks like, are backups now for Spring Hill as Evan Letillier, the quarterback, hands off to Dylan Lazenby, and that will go for a no gain. So Letillier in at quarterback. Lazenby's the running back. You've got Duff and Gardner. Two of the receivers out there, and looks like the tight end is now Cameron Crotchett for Spring Hill. Left tackle Wyatt George has moved out to left tackle from left guard. As Letillier sends 3 receivers right. Bear Gardner, the lone receiver on the left. Option to the right side. Letillier kept it himself, and he's into Ottawa territory down to the 44-yard line. A 6-yard run for Letillier. Trying to figure out the rest of these. Flaming is in there as well on the offensive line now, it looks like, for Spring Hill. .55 out there at right tackle. That maybe Kyle Hernandez. I'm trying to look at all the reserves on the field right now for Spring Hill. But Letillier, after the 6-yard run, makes it 3rd down and 4. He'll give it off to Corian Duff out of the slot on the motion. And Duff nearly lost his footing at about the 40. Stayed on his feet down throughout the 33-yard line. That's a 1st down run for Corian Duff. They'll mark him out at the 32-yard line. 12-yard run for Duff.
First and 10 for the Broncos from the 33-yard line.
A minute and 38 seconds left to go, 3rd quarter. It's been all Spring Hill tonight. 43-0. They lead the Ottawa Cyclones. And Eli Flores in there as well now for Spring Hill as one of the receivers. Lazenby on the carry. Steps through a would-be tackler at the 30, then busts free down the near sideline. Duff down there to get in the way as a sidestep from Lazenby. Got around the defender, Lane Hughes, and in for a touchdown. A 32-yard touchdown run for Dylan Lazenby on just his 2nd carry of the year. So Spring Hill continues to pile it on, now up 49-0. And that was a nice little run. He looked like he was going to be tackled after a short gain about the 30-yard line, but he was able to step through that ankle tackle and then a nice little hesitation move at the 5-yard line to get in. Bear Gardner off the extra point after the Lazenby touchdown to make it an even 50-point lead for Spring Hill, and it's perfect. 50-0 Spring Hill with 1:28 left to play in the 3rd quarter. You're watching Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
What if grass wasn't just for mowing? What if all the games weren't on TV? What if you saw the grandkids on more than just holidays? What if you got out of the house more often, maybe for good? Cedar Lake Village Senior Living. Life is how you live, not just where. To learn more, call 888-508-2022.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
50-0. Spring Hill leads Ottawa with 1:28 to play, 3rd quarter. All Broncos in this one. They led 29-0 at halftime, and they have just continued to pile it on to start the second half. 4 possessions, 3 touchdowns and a punt. That's the amazing thing. They've done all this in the third quarter. They even had a punt in there. But a turnover forced resulted in a quick touchdown and then a couple of other quick drives, and that was all second string unit in there for Spring Hill last offense possession, and Dylan Lazenby went 32 yards for the touchdown. As you can see, the clock is still running. We had that happen earlier after a kickoff when it wasn't supposed to, but with the score 50-0, it's running now because of the rules allowing it to at this point. So this is correctly running after the kickoff this time. 50-0 Spring Hill as Kessinger works out of the shotgun and hands off on first down to Creech. Stovall about 18 tackles in the Week 1 win. Got some help from Downs and Rounds on to make that stop. And a very short gain again, as Ottawa has just had a tough time all night finding any room to run against this stout Spring Hill defense. Just a 2-yard carry there. And the Ottawa offense walking off the field, that's going to do it for the third quarter. All Spring Hill tonight in Ottawa. Broncos 50. Ottawa still scoreless as we go to the fourth. You're watching Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Elliott Insurance Group is a proud supporter of Spring Hill and USD 230. At Elliott Insurance Group, we work, live, and shop in our local communities, serving Miami and Johnson counties for more than 45 years. Elliott Insurance Group understands your needs. As an independent insurance agency, Elliott Insurance Group works with numerous carriers to find the coverage that best fits your needs. In Spring Hill, call 913-592-5552 or visit ElliottInsuranceGroup.com.
Your home for Bronco Athletics is Spring Hill Sports Live. The Broncos return home Friday night as they welcome in the Bonner Springs Braves. Our pregame coverage starts at 6:30, kickoff at 7. It's the Broncos and Braves Friday night right here on your home for Spring Hill Athletics, Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
All Broncos in this one, 50-0 as we now head to the fourth quarter. And before the first snap of the fourth quarter, the officials will get together to cause a stoppage here. There were some youth players on the field with football. They're throwing footballs here at halftime, and some of them had escaped out on, or not at halftime, at the end of the quarter, between quarters there, had escaped out onto the field. So now we're ready to start playing the fourth quarter, and it is Kessinger on that first down carry, or the second down and 8 rather, to start the fourth, and he takes it out to the 20 on a 6-yard run there for Kessinger. All Broncos in this one as they added another 21 points in the third quarter. They scored 8 in the first, 21 in the second, and 21 in the third to now lead 50-0, and the clock will be running throughout this fourth quarter, except for after scores and on any actual timeouts taken by the teams, which I doubt we'll see many, and any officials' timeouts necessary for timeouts or anything like that. Kessinger hands it off up the middle, and a ball came out. And they've already lost 2 fumbles in this game, Ottawa's offense. This one is recovered by Spring Hill again. So a third turnover for Ottawa as Cameron Crotchett comes up with that fumble recovery. And so far, let's see if we can make it 3 for 3, capitalizing off of turnovers. And not only have they capitalized with touchdowns off of the previous 2 fumble recoveries, but it's taken them exactly 2 plays to do it both times. They're within range where another 2-play drive would be very realistic as they start at the 20-yard line. They've outgained Ottawa 381-66 in this ball game. The reserves on the field for him. It was Dylan Lazenby who scored a touchdown run last time they had it. Now they've even got deeper into the depth chart as Josh Dickey has taken over at quarterback, and he hands off to Matthew Skoma on first down. He is stuffed by Colin Creech, but they've gone deeper down that depth chart, making the play-by-play man's job even tougher. It's a 1-yard loss for Skoma. So the clock running with just over 10 minutes left. Spring Hill trying to capitalize off another turnover. Dickey out of the pistol. Skoma, the man behind him. And this time Dickey pulls it out of the belly of Skoma, kept it himself, got back to the original line of scrimmage. Talon Morris and Colin Creech again make the tackle for Ottawa. A 1-yard run for Dickey. So now it is 3rd down and 10 from the 20-yard line. A 50-0 Spring Hill lead early 4th quarter. Dickey out of the pistol again. Well, we going to see him throw maybe for the first time. Nope, they're going to give it back to Skoma, and he's down to about the 18-yard line. Talon Morris makes the tackle. They're going to give him only 1 to the 19. 4th down.
Brings it 4th down and 8 from the 18.
And on a 4th and 8 from the 18-yard line, they did give him 2 on that carry. They'll keep the offense, the 3rd string, a mixture of 2nd and 3rd string offense on the field right now for Spring Hill. Skoma, the running back still. He's carried it twice on this series. And he'll get it a 3rd time. Grabbed it around the waist and brought down to the backfield by Creech at the 22-yard line. A loss of 4, and that will turn it over on downs back to Ottawa. Running clock situation, as you see it, still turning with 8:15 and counting left in the 4th quarter. 50-0. Ottawa on Spring Hill on top of Ottawa. Kessinger in the Ottawa offense back out there. The defensive unit reserves as well for Spring Hill as they're trying to preserve a shutout. But it's still the starting offensive unit out there for Ottawa. Caleb Kessinger, the quarterback, fakes the handoff, and he wants a deep shot down the right hash mark. It's caught on a back pedal by Dadrian Aho, and he will race in for an Ottawa touchdown. With 7:30 left in the 4th quarter, Ottawa won't be shut out as they score against the backup defensive unit of Spring Hill. 78 yards on the touchdown to Aho. They got a 70-yard touchdown last week against Baldwin, and the victory for Ottawa. They had in that game it was a 74-yard touchdown to Richards. This one a 78-yard touchdown to Aho.
Kessinger to hold Vogel to attempt the point after.
So an extra point attempt coming up for Reese Vogel. Quarterback Kessinger, the holder for Ottawa. And Vogel, low kick, but it's good. And with 6:40 remaining and counting in this 4th quarter, it's now 50-7 in favor of Spring Hill. So you'll have to excuse me on my running clock rule. I'm coming from the Nebraska running clock rules, which they stop after scores. But the Kansas running clock rules, that clock will continue to tick. So we're going to keep it right here because I'd imagine both teams will be out on the field shortly to resume play. But Ottawa's on the board on a 78-yard touchdown. And now Spring Hill will hopefully, they're hoping, I would think that they're going to get this ball back and be able to tick 5 minutes off the clock. If they can get a first down or 2, they'll have a real shot of doing just that.
Kick off for the Cyclones. Norton and Shearer deep to return for the Broncos.
And Vogel's kick, little pooch kick toward the far sideline, bounced about the 28-yard line, and it was fielded off of the one big bounce by Wyatt Dickey, and he'll get the return back to about the 38-yard line. Clock now underneath of 5 minutes. So again, just a first down or perhaps two will be enough to put this game away for Spring Hill. Officially put the game away, as the game is certainly on ice as far as the score goes at this point. A 50-7 Spring Hill lead. They're going to move to 2-0 for the first time since 2001. So Josh Dickey, third-string quarterback, is in, and now another new running back for Spring Hill as Duff gets it as the motion man, and Corian Duff out to the 44-yard line. But they've gone a little bit deeper on that running back depth chart again, and the new running back is Damon Stewart. That was Duff out of the slot on the run for 6 yards. Second carry in the ball game now for Duff. He's got 18 yards in his 2 carries, so he's made the most of his mop-up work here for this Spring Hill team, is looking to just run the clock out at this point. Stewart gets his first touch, and he's dragged down by Creech. No gain on the play.
Number 2, calling Creech for the Cyclones. Let's get third down.
Second down, or rather a third down, I should say, and 4. And this is hopefully a first down run for Spring Hill, and that would allow them to keep this clock moving without having to turn it back over to the Ottawa offense. 3 receivers are right. Dickey hasn't attempted a pass. Obviously, the game situation doesn't, you hand the ball off and go on that route, and that's what they do again. They give it to Stewart, who is stuffed in the backfield for a loss, and it looks like Spring Hill's going to opt to bring the punting team out after about the 3 or 4 yard loss. We'll call it 4-yard loss there for Stewart. So 2.5 left in the ball game, and Logan Greenhall will come out to punt for Spring Hill. Had a touchback in his only other punt of this ball game. There was a holding penalty on that punt as well against Ottawa, so it ended up putting the ball to the 10-yard line for Ottawa. That was on the first possession of the second half for Spring Hill. High end-over-end punt for Greenhall, and it bounces at the 28-yard line. Takes an Ottawa bounce and down by Aaron Dominic at the 30. Clock will tick underneath 2 minutes before the Ottawa offense gets out there to run a play. And it looks like perhaps a few reserves maybe in there now, but the starting quarterback Kessinger remains. A couple of guys I haven't seen yet, though. Caden Castleberry. That's Lane Hughes, who's in there as well, one of the new wingbacks. So they've brought in a few reserves anyway. And now a timeout is taken by Spring Hill as Jason Feeback trying to get a bunch of his youth on the field as well, and wants just to make sure they've got A, the right personnel, and B, know what that personnel is responsible for here, to try not to give up another big play in this final 126. Spring Hill will be back home next Friday night to host Bonner Springs. It was a great game last year with Bonner Springs. The Spring Hill won 24-23, and the Broncos since 2012, the two teams have met 3 times. Spring Hill has won all 3 meetings, none closer than last year's 24-23 victory. So that'll be next Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff back home at Spring Hill Stadium here on Spring Hill Sports Live. Then they go to Paola, host DeSoto, and at Tonganoxie for a really tough 3-game stretch. And they're going to head back home at 2-0 next week for the first time since 2001. 1:26 remains in the fourth quarter. Caleb Kessinger has some new targets out there to throw to, but he's the starting quarterback that remains in the ball game. Pulls it out of his running back Castleberry's gut and takes it out to the 34-yard line. He's upended there by Gunnar Kroll. 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the ball game. That's a 4-yard run by the quarterback Kessinger. Clock now underneath a minute. Ottawa will drop to 1-1, and their next ball game will be here at Steve Grogan Stadium next Friday night against Paola, who at halftime was up 44-0 on Fort Scott tonight. And Ottawa this time gives it to Samuel Roberts, and he is taken down for a loss of 3 back to the 31-yard line.
Samuel Roberts on the carry for the Cyclones.
17 seconds to go, and that should do it as Ottawa is content with not running any more plays. 50-7 the final tonight as the Spring Hill Broncos go on the road for the first time in 2019, and it treats them well. Broncos 50, the Ottawa Cyclones 7, Spring Hill 2-0. Ottawa drops to 1-1 as the Broncos get to 2-0 for the first time since 2001 with a 50-7 dominant victory tonight. Stay with us as coming up after the break is the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center post-game show on your home for the Broncos, Spring Hill Sports Live.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to Cool Crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
Open, flexible, and dedicated to our clients with impeccable customer support. That's why you choose Tri-Century Bank. Have your bank right in your hands with mobile banking and manage your money from the comfort of your home with convenient online banking. Tri-Century is ideal for your business with competitive rates on loans and credit cards to help meet your goals. For 125 years, Tri-Century Bank has been serving Spring Hill. To learn more, join them for one of their monthly coffees. See upcoming events at tricentury.bank.
Your home for Bronco Athletics is Spring Hill Sports Live. Our coverage of Bronco volleyball kicks off this Thursday as Spring Hill plays host to a volleyball triangular with the Blue Valley Southwest Timberwolves and the Bonner Springs Braves. It's Spring Hill Bronco volleyball this Thursday right here on your home for Spring Hill High School Athletics, Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
50-7 the final tonight in Ottawa as the Spring Hill Broncos roll to a 2-0 start for the first time since 2001 with this 50-7 50-7 victory. The 50 points, 3 shy of the 53 they put up against Ottawa back in 2006 as far as their most points scored. But they win this one 50-7 tonight. It's the postgame show brought to you by Shoemaker Collision Repair and Paint Center, Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center. They work with all insurance companies and can get you back on the road in no time. To learn more, visit them online at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095. We'll talk with Coach Feeback here in the postgame show, but let's take a look at some of the final numbers as well, as Spring Hill outgains Ottawa tonight 381-145, and of that 145, they got 78 of it on one play late against the backup defensive unit for Spring Hill. So that was a dominant defensive performance tonight by Spring Hill. They ran for 263 yards. They threw for 118. Ottawa just 37 rushing yards. They averaged 1.7 yards per carry in this game. Spring Hill led by Zayd Barker, a big night from him. 22 carries, 183 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And he is tonight's player of the game as the Spring Hill Broncos leaned heavily on Barker, and he rewarded them at an 8.3 yard per carry average. 183 yards on 22 carries, 3 touchdowns total for Barker. They also had 31 yards on the ground from Corbin Myers and a 32-yard touchdown run from Dylan Lazenby in there as well. That was their last score of the ball game with a minute and a half left in that third quarter when Lazenby got that touchdown run. Through the air, Corbin Myers was 9 of 13, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns. Did have the one early interception, but bounced back nicely from that as he was 2 for 4 at the time when he threw that interception, and he ended up going then 7 of 9 the rest of the way. Ends up with 118 yards through the air and the 3 touchdowns. 2 of them went to Gage Klutz. The only 2 catches Klutz had in this game, he made them both count for touchdowns. 2 grabs, 47 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zach Knowlton with a strong game as well with 6 catches for 59 yards and his first touchdown of the 2019 season as Spring Hill piled up 381 yards of offense in this game. For the Cyclones, Caleb Kessinger was 6 of 14 through the air, 108 yards and the touchdown. That was the 78-yard score in the fourth quarter there to Deadrian Aho, who caught 4 passes for 96 yards and the touchdown. But they got nothing on the ground all game. Kessinger ended up with 38 yards on 5 carries as the leading rusher for the Cyclones. Their starting tailback, Aaron Clevenger, totaled just 1 yard on 8 carries. Talon Morris, their second running back, tallied negative 1 yards on 5 carries. And it was really the same thing all night long for that Ottawa rushing attack against that front 7 or front 6 a lot of times for Ottawa, but the front 7 with the outside backers, Roundzon and Wilm, both causing a lot of havoc in the passing game defensively. And up front, Greenhall, he was a force again on the interior as the defensive tackle. Downs and Dominic were excellent as the defensive ends, and Stovall and Dickey, the 2 middle backers. Once more, a big night from them as they just stuffed everything Ottawa tried to get going on the ground. 50-7, the final score here tonight in Ottawa. Spring Hill improves to 2-0 with the victory. Back with more on the Shoemaker Collision postgame show right after this on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Elliott Insurance Group is a proud supporter of Spring Hill and USD 230. At Elliott Insurance Group, we work, live, and shop in our local communities, serving Miami and Johnson counties for more than 45 years. Elliott Insurance Group understands your needs. As an independent insurance agency, Elliott Insurance Group works with numerous carriers to find the coverage that best fits your needs. In Spring Hill, call 913-592-5552 or visit ElliottInsuranceGroup.com. Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years. Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Prime Accounting Solutions in Spring Hill is here to help you and your business grow. From accounting services to tax planning, Prime Accounting is here to help you meet your goals and achieve your dreams. The accountants at Prime Accounting Solutions stay up to date on the latest news and information, ensuring the best options, services, and returns for you. Give Prime Accounting Solutions a call at 913-592-2050. Visit them at 408 North Webster in Spring Hill or go online to primeaccounting.net.
Your local Farmers Insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back into the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center post-game show from Ottawa tonight. The final score, Spring Hill 50, Ottawa 7, as the Broncos improved to 2-0 with the victory tonight. And we're joined now by Jason Feeback, the head coach of the Spring Hill Broncos after the victory. And, Coach, congratulations on that second victory here tonight.
Hey, thanks. That was a good win for our guys. Everybody came out and got everybody in the game, so really exciting.
Yeah, you make it tough on the play-by-play guy when you reach that deep into the depth chart, but it's great to see that. You always love to get some of those young guys a chance to play.
Yeah, it's good to get those kids in. They've been putting in work. They don't have a JV game on Monday, so we wanted to get them in tonight. So some of them had pretty wide eyes coming off the field, and are you serious? You want me? Yeah, it's time to get in. So it was neat.
What first impressions jumped out about this game that you liked the most from your guys?
You know, our offense was pretty explosive. Last week we didn't have any penalties. This week we had quite a few. So that's something we need to go look at the film and correct. Defensively, we got out of position a few times. I'm just picking all the negatives. You wanted the positives. But
well, I just said first impressions. I guess that could be either way. You know?
Yeah. I thought our guys, we had a couple penalties and we had second, third, and long, and we still converted. So I like the fact that we could do that. I didn't think we got rattled. Ottawa kind of came out, moved the ball on us early, did a few things. The quarterback was able to make some plays, and we still stuck with it. Was able to keep the goose egg on the on the clock till the fourth quarter. So, guys were ready to go today. So I was really proud of that.
Well, I know Barker was a big part of the game plan, obviously, coming into this game after what he was able to do last year against Ottawa. I mean, for that matter, every game I know he's a big piece of the game plan for you tonight. But I had him at 183 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. He looked smooth yet again running that football.
He does a good job of making our linemen look good sometimes, and he's able to get up in the hole and then bounce it outside. And he's special. You know, he didn't miss a day of workouts this summer. So he deserves any success he has this year. He's just a hard-working kid. He's been a start as his third year starting, so he took his lumps as a sophomore for sure, and had a decent junior year, and really was focused on coming out and doing his best for the team this year. So it's good to see that. Good to see that, and he just keeps those legs churning, man.
Zach Knowlton had a strong game in this ball game as well. He seemed to be kind of a go-to target there for a bit of it for Corbin Myers, and they hooked him about 6 times in this ball game. So he's not a big target to necessarily throw to, but he's found some little seams in there and makes himself available and had a good game.
He goes up and gets it. He doesn't play like a sophomore for sure. He's able to. He just got kind of that knack for getting open and finding a hole in the defense and then making a catch and going. So I'd like for him to get down a little quicker on some of those. He's got 3 or 4 guys coming in on him.
Won that extra yard?
I guess. He wasn't getting it.
Gage Klutz also had that touchdown catch. Go back and watch that one. That was a nice little play down there.
Yeah, he just kind of sneaks back there, and he's got great hands. That kid catches everything. So.
Well, defensively in this ball game, you gave up the 33-yard run on the second play from scrimmage, and then at halftime they had 36 yards more outside of that play. So how did you think the defense played as a whole outside of the one big play?
Our inside five, I thought, played a pretty good game. Initially, we thought we were playing too high defensive line-wise. Talked about that at halftime. Our inside guys were plugging, and that's what they do. They plug. Our outside guys kind of got out of position a little bit, mostly on our weak side. We were diving on inside run plays, and that quarterback's pulling it and getting outside of us, and that dude can run. So I'll give it to him on that. He's a tough guy.
Well, 2-0. First time we were talking earlier this week since 2001. A lot of these guys weren't even around in 2001,
right.
18 years ago. But obviously that feels good. But I know you won't sit on this one too long before you get right back to work because you got another tough opponent, Bonner Springs, coming to town next Friday night.
Yep, homecoming week coming up, and that's a lot of distractions. And just tell our guys it's all about the game for us. So everything else will take care of itself. But we'll enjoy this one. 12-hour rule in effect, and before noon tomorrow, we'll be working on the other stuff for next week. So.
What do you mean? Every football coach loves homecoming, Coach. No, I've yet to meet one.
Oh gosh,
I don't want to make you sound like you're
not
anti-homecoming,
love it. It's
but
so
you're right.
Loud and everybody screams. But
there's a lot of other stuff you got to deal with
Absolutely,
when it comes to the actual football game. But we're looking forward to it. We'll see you back home next Friday night against Bonner Springs.
Hey, thanks a lot.
All right, Coach. Appreciate it. And thanks for the coming up here, and congratulations again on the win as they win this one tonight, 50-7, the final here in Ottawa, as the Broncos get to 2-0. With the victory. We're back to wrap things all up right after this on the Shoemaker Collision postgame show on Spring Hill Sports Live.
When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill.
What if grass wasn't just for mowing? What if all the games weren't on TV? What if you saw the grandkids on more than just holidays? What if you got out of the house more often, maybe for good? Cedar Lake Village Senior Living. Life is how you live, not just where. To learn more, call 888-508-2022.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Big win tonight for Spring Hill on the road as they defeat the Ottawa Cyclones 50-7 to improve to 2-0 on the season here on the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center post-game show. Next Friday night, it's homecoming back home for Spring Hill as they will host Bonner Springs in a big homecoming matchup that will be the end of the third, if you will, of the season. And then that middle portion at Paola, home for DeSoto, and at Tonganoxie. So they're going to look to keep the momentum rolling next week with that home matchup against Bonner Springs. For Ottawa, they host Paola next Friday night in their Week 3 matchup. Caden Carbajo and Bryce Kessler, we're going to say good night to you from Ottawa this evening. Thanks for joining us for this one, as it is a big victory for the Spring Hill Broncos. Once again, your final score, Spring Hill 50, Ottawa 7. You've been watching the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center post-game show on your home for the Broncos, Spring Hill Sports Live.
It's time for Spring Hill High School football.
one to the right side. Braden throws the slant for Kroll. In and out. Did he catch it on a bobble? He did. Bryson Kroll hauls it in for a 9-yard touchdown reception.
Spring Hill Sports Live is brought to you by Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning, Price Chopper, Kim Thompson at Prudential Financial, the Spring Hill Recreation Commission, Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center, Cedar Lake Village, Crown Realty, the Elliott Insurance Group, Prime Accounting Solutions, Farmers Insurance, Leah Smith Agency, Tri-Century Bank, Allstate, Libby Clark Agency, the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce, Spring Hill Fitness, Perfect Detail Salon, and Whitesell Optometry.
5.